7:30, call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Keelman? Here. Dudek? Here. Christie here. Duncan?
Here.
Berenger?
Here.
All present. Comments from the community for items not on the agenda? Would anyone like to speak? Yes, sir.
My name is Mike Culps. I live at 8866 Gratiot, 2 doors down from the Tees Rock and Roadhouse. The noise is just out of control. That was the accident there on Gratiot. I had on collision with the semi a year and a half ago. My stepdaughter and my grandson. She was killed. He has a brain injury and head injury and hearing. Wednesday night, car show night, Friday and Saturday, the bands. We can't sit outside. We go in the house, close the doors, lock the windows, turn on the air, and those cars leave that car show. The kids like this. Now, these guys who's got these classic cars, they're 60 to 70 years old, with the horsepower they had when they were 18 and the reflexes they got when they're 70. They come out of there sideways. Look at tire marks on that. 2 years ago, a white Corvette almost went through my front porch. I don't know if you're aware, about 3-4 weeks ago, a 70-year-old lady was ran over in the parking lot. You aware of that?
No.
They hauled her away in the ambulance, broken arm and messed up her head.
Does it go late at night or is it just,
It,
it does? Because I know we have a noise ordinance. I don't know what the
yes, and I'd
time
like to
is
know
on
what that
it.
is,
Mhm.
because the bands are the same.
Okay.
I called the St. Clair County Sheriff one night at 8 o'clock in the bands. We called over there numerous times. Okay, send the owner over. We'll let maybe we can settle this without going to the township. He won't respond. Most of the time they hang up on you. Called the police one night, 8 o'clock, got a recording. We'll call you back momentarily. 45 minutes later, I called them again, got the same thing. 45 minutes later, I called back. I said, if you can't respond, I'll call the state police. They called back, says, we'll get a car out, but it'll be a while. They showed up. I think I went to bed, the band shut off about 11. I went to bed at 11:30, they're pounding on my door at 11:45. They said, if you got a noise problem, it ain't our problem. He basically read me the riot act home. He says, call the township. I said, who's at the township? They're only there 15 hours during the week. And when they're there, they don't answer the phone. And I mean, this is, so we're gonna be ignored by the township people and the police. You might as well ignore us when you send out your tax bill. I mean, someone's gonna get killed. And I invite any of these people to come and sit in my yard on Wednesday nights. It's out of hand.
Have you talked to our ordinance officer at all?
I
Tracy?
filed a written.
Because I remember
complaint
hearing of this.
3 weeks ago when I was
Okay.
in here,
And has he talked to you
and I
at all?
left messages on his thing. Yep.
Uh-huh.
And
He hasn't talked to you? Okay. Okay.
But someone's gonna get killed over there. I'm telling you, it's, and the sad part, there's probably 75 to 100 cars, which I'm glad the guy's busy. I'm not here to shut his business down. But there's only like 5 assholes out of that group. Well, then it gets to be monkey see, monkey do. I can outdo that guy. And I mean, they come out of that place sideways. Now I'm probably 500 feet down the road, 700 feet. I bet you're doing 70, 80 miles an hour by the time they hit Warner. I mean, what needs to be done is they need to have the state police or the sheriff, if they don't seem to want to cooperate, and get out there and write some nasty ass tickets. Now these guys, like I said, they got reflexes of 70-year-olds, the horsepower, and they ain't pulling out of a church, they're pulling out of a bar, so you might as well throw alcohol in on the ticket. And like you said, if nothing's done, it's gonna be not good. don't know if they were,
Well,
now, I don't know if they were talked to over there. I was in here 3 weeks ago, filed a written report. That next Wednesday, it was worse than ever. Now, the one guy got this old rat rod, got the air horns, he'll pull in there, lay on those air horns. We called over there, okay, guys, knock it off. Ever since then, he starts laying on his air horns, my angels, right in front of me and Nick, my next door, all the way through. And it just, I mean, it's, like I said, come on over, it's in my yard tonight. You're sending the officer over. I mean, I don't know if you're getting any other complaints. Like I said, it ain't 3 weeks or 3 months, it's 3 years we're putting up with this. And the guy who owns it or manager, I mean, someone needs to grow a set of gonads and either straighten their customers out or something.
I agree. I'll talk to Tracy about it. He's our ordinance guy. I'll remind him that the report and ask him where it's going and what's happening with it. And see if there's any options of what we can do. I'll even go to Tees and talk to the owner and see, you know, I mean, he should throw people like that out.
Yes, he should. And I mean, once they're on the road, I guess it ain't his problem, but that's where the police should be.
But honestly, I mean, he should ban people that do that kind
I
of stuff.
agree.
So
And he should tell that whole car group, they all know each other. He gets a good crowd. I'm not here to shut his business down. I tough enough being in business now. But like I said, it's just, it's getting worse. The more we call there and complain, the worse it gets.
right, like the retaliation.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, I think you go talk to them and tell us that group that goes there and maybe the, you know, the 5 guys that are stewing up, maybe the other 95 that are there, you know. And I tried to set up that way. But
Well, I don't know if I'll make any headway, but I'll definitely
Well, yeah.
deal with both.
I mean,
of
I
them,
called
you
the
know?
state police and got a little bit of headway with them, and they actually worked with the sheriff, and the one night they did write 2 tickets over there. And he had made the comment, we write 10 tickets when you shut our show down. And like you said, I'm not here to shut. I'm here to, but like you said, that 70-year-old woman, she was walking through and the guy was backing his car in and ran her right over.
Wow.
Took her away in the ambulance about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I have a question or a statement. Was the township made aware, because it was brought to my attention because I hunt in Columbus Township, that there was a farmer who lost 40 pigs in Columbus Township?
Like they got loose?
Yes.
There was papers.
Yeah, I had
in the
someone call me
slide.
on that,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
And
I
there's
didn't
somebody
know if
put
you guys were
papers
aware.
and like pictures and stuff like that, yeah.
Like, I lost my pig thing?
No, somebody complained about
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, I put on
Just
Tracy's
because
desk.
whenever we harvest an animal and we take it to a DNR for a check-in station, they always ask, did you see any feral hogs? And if I haven't seen any, or if I have seen some, I've heard that there was an issue in Columbus Township, and I don't want Columbus Township being the start of the state of Texas or Michigan.
I did get a call from one of the neighbors saying that the pigs were tearing up at their house.
Okay.
And I told her to file a written complaint so we can follow it up.
Maybe it was the same person, because there was a
But
complaint.
I don't, did she write one?
There was a complaint and
Good.
a couple pictures, yeah.
So, I don't even think those people are supposed to be having pigs on their property.
Don't even know where they supposedly came from?
Well, we dealt with it like a year ago, and then they supposedly took them all to slaughter. And
You think,
It's where
you think it's the
senior
same people?
homes, that home, senior citizen, was it a senior citizen home or something?
I
It used
don't
to
know
be,
exactly
it
what
used to
house
be
they
some
came
kind of
from.
place that they held a lot of people, because I live on that road, and they used to have ambulances go there. I think it was senior citizen home, but
Yeah, I
somebody
don't
else
know.
owns it now, so.
I don't know.
I wonder if animal control could do anything.
Just saying, I was brought to my attention that there was
Well, I
a
appreciate it.
feral hog issue in Columbus Township.
So in,
They're open game, aren't they?
yes,
Yes, they are. But if you don't see them, or if you see them and they're on somebody else's property, what do you do?
What area?
I was just told that there was a bunch of pigs loose in Columbus Township.
We're going hunting now.
What road was that, do you know? Frith Road? I think
Frith
Frith Road. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, well, if
That's
we,
close to home.
yep. If we have a written complaint on it, we're gonna look into it and,
Was there, you said there was a written complaint?
the thing with the animal control is, there's only one person representing like,
I think it's
the whole
beyond the
county.
animals,
Oh, it's
Mike.
beyond, yeah.
The DNR.
Was it
needed to
40?
be- Huh?
There was a
40,
picture of a
I was-
playset with at least 40 pigs by the playset.
Yeah, if it's
Different
40 pigs,
sizes.
you're not catching 40
Different
pigs.
sizes.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Big ol' big ol' group of them.
Big pigs?
And if
Big, like huge and little,
Breeder.
and little.
no, and long hair pigs.
they're heritage pigs is what I was informed of. So they can live in the winter.
Wow.
Sure.
And proliferate fast.
Yes, and if they get into, why I brought it up is because if they're that close to Girl Scout camp and you can't hunt the Girl Scout camp, and if there's a boar and even one sow that's fertile, and they get into Girl Scout camp, we're gonna be Texas. With the feral hogs, and it's gonna start in Columbus Township.
Well, we're gonna get on it.
Well, you got it written in a picture, so.
All right. And that complaint is where?
It's on Tracy's desk.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
I know I've talked to you about this before. Something's gotta be done with the township as far as, nothing is, from what I'm seeing, nothing is being accomplished. As far as reports coming in, complaints. Building down the road, for example. That was supposed to be a 2-story house, now there's a roof. It's like, I don't, our department's not following up on stuff. I don't understand all of it. People, it just doesn't seem like jobs are being proceeded and looked at and taken care of. Just, it's mentioned and that's it. And then I've asked plenty of questions. I don't get no answers from the board ever. I've asked about the barn over on Kendall Road. I've asked about that. I've asked about Shore Road, this over here. And nothing is, I just don't understand it.
Did they get a building permit?
The one on
They-
the
I think
corner,
they
the one-
just
the
came
people on the
in.
corner, no, the people on
I talked to Tony about it, or I'm sorry, I've talked to Roland about it. And told him that I wanted him to go down there and red tag that place and deal with it. And I told him the same thing on Kendall, either settle it or let's go to court. I mean, this is just dragging on.
You guys had a meeting with the attorney, her attorney, what did he
We
say?
met with their attorney and nothing has happened since. And it's directly the
Well,
building department's fault.
That's what I'm saying though.
So-
I think Roland,
That's been on for 3 years now, the one on Kendall Road, I've been talking about it for 3 years. And this is what I keep getting.
Roland's going out there Thursday with the assessor. I think that's what he told me on Monday, when I talked to him on Monday. He's
That's
going
what-
out-
I mean,
Because I asked-
Because they're gonna,
First.
because
Is there a septic, is there?
I asked them to set up an
Yeah.
appointment to meet them at the house
Mhm.
and try to settle this out and finish it.
and I heard Thursday, that's what they told me,
Apparently
so.
got money wrapped up with the lawyer, the lawyer we originally had, you had to pay him to go talk, I mean, all that should be coming back at him. In all reality, I mean, that winery over on Martell. It's another one. It's nonstop, there's nothing being done. I mean, to me, if you put a stop work order, you stop work and then follow through. To me, this jobs just keep going and nothing happens. It's just like you get a slap on the hand and say it's okay and go ahead. And then we're all looking for more things. There's other issues that are popping up. But it's like, but nothing other can be completed, but we're looking for more stuff to do. It's the same thing with the ordinance officer. I don't know a place that can not get a report and get a paycheck. I couldn't do it.
Bingo.
I mean, to me, I talked to you about it. It takes 5 minutes. If he goes to Phoebe's house and stops and talks to her, he can't write that down and turn that into you or whoever he's got to turn the paperwork into. I mean, it's only hurting the township, especially if it is in court. Where's the paperwork to follow anything up on? I'm just trying to figure it out. I know we talked about it, Bruce, but I'm not. I figured, you know what, I'll bring it to the whole board.
And I came in here that very day and talked to Roland and to Tracy and to the assessor about reports, about not getting them, and that the board wants them and the residents are asking for them. And all they told me is they'd work on them, and they gave me something at least this month.
So there's no accountability. So, well, they gave me something, but something, I mean, we pay them to do a job. I can't go to my job and not do anything and still get paid. So why are we paying them to not do a job?
I think in like Tracy's defense, I don't know, like I put in a light thing for him at old house building at roundabout. He called, he got a hold of the real estate and the people. I mean, I think at his level of what he does, it's only so far he can go, but I see him in there, he's working, he does make some calls and do some running around, but it's not like he's marching.
No, but in the same sense, it's, like
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I
there's stuff that's been just lingering in this township that's not been going on, been taken care of. And it's not right. It's, and then, but now we're gonna try to open up another can of worms and go after something else when this isn't even. And that's what I don't, and then you don't get no answers. As well, we're in the process, we're in the process of what? They gave you some paperwork, I mean, Roland drives by that place and he didn't know there was a roof on the place, come on. It's pretty obvious, it was blue tarp.
They're working on it right now.
Right,
They
that's
have
what I'm saying.
they have a building permit.
Okay, there's a roof on it, it was supposed to be 2 stories, so why was there a roof on it?
I don't know. He was in here yesterday talking to Roland about it. So,
Like I said, it's, we give them permission to do one thing and then people go ahead and do something else and then it's, oh, okay. Good enough. I don't see, what's the purpose of having ordinances and rules? That's the way I'm looking at it.
Especially when the ones who come to the meetings to try and get permission to do it, you keep kicking their can down the road and it takes them forever to get their stuff, and the ones who don't follow the rules and don't file for the permits, nothing happens to them.
Amen.
So I don't understand why, again, we pay them to do a job, and if they're not doing the job, then they need to be let go. We need to pull someone in that will do the job. Especially at the rate that we pay them.
And some of the information that I'm getting isn't true. On pools and stuff like that. The township would be sued and everything, that isn't.
Oh,
On gates and everything, no, it's not true. I think maybe he needs to either look up more, follow through, or, it's not true. So I said, it's like he hands you a line just to keep you somewhat satisfied and good enough. I just don't.
He picks and chooses what he wants to follow up through and what he doesn't. He doesn't want to do it, he doesn't.
Timeline or whatever on this, when a complaint comes in or anything, I would think there'd be a timeline on it. I don't know if that's the answer or what, but I'm not saying nobody's doing anything, I'm not saying that at all, but it's just some of the stuff is it's not being taken care of. To me, it's setting a bad precedence for the township. Thank you.
not that it helps, but I'm frustrated with the situation myself. I'm open to ideas about how to deal with it.
So if there's that much building going on, do you need, if one person can't do it, do you need two people to do it?
What
Like the building inspections and building permits and,
Building has been really slow this, like, maybe week and 2 weeks, like,
Okay, 2 weeks.
really slow, like nobody's come in, like, at all, like, maybe one a day,
It's
like,
tapering down.
yeah, it's really gone slow, so I don't know. You would assume stuff would have caught up by now, you know, so, I don't know.
Well, this is an enforcement issue that I agree. 3 years, and the longer it goes on, if we do get it into court, it's gonna play favor to the guy that violated the thing, because the judge is gonna say, well, you let this go for how many years already?
A bigger problem is we have a problem enforcing certain people doing things. Right, so he says he's gonna have a 2-story, he comes in and gets his CBA clearance to do a 2-story on it, and then he just does whatever he wants. He uses it as a parking lot for his cars, he puts his jet skis there.
Well, we don't know if Roland cut a deal with them and went around the ZBA.
Yeah, I'm saying he didn't, right? So the ZBA's approval gave him a 2-story, that's what he's supposed to have.
Right.
It's the same as the winery. You know, that's completely off the reservation for what he got approval for. And I don't know what the next enforcement step is. Because the steps we've done in the past have absolutely no teeth and don't do anything. So either people have figured that out and they're doing whatever they want, or we just have a good rash of them right now and we can't close them.
so we're just guessing on this. How about we get the building department guy here and Tracy, the zoning guy here for the meetings? So they can answer the questions that we all have. Then that way it's cut and dry. They're here. Just an idea. You said you're open to ideas.
That's a great idea.
And the
Second
ordinance guy.
Yeah. Everybody comes here.
I mean, I filed that written report 3 weeks ago, I heard nothing. I mean, you sit here 15 hours a week, I don't understand why somebody can answer a phone call here.
He only comes in on Monday, the ordinance
anybody.
guy, you know.
We
so-
don't answer his phone.
Yeah.
Anybody's phone. Call today, the clerk,
That's me. We're not open on Tuesday.
you what?
We're not open on Tuesdays.
We're training an office administrator and he was gone hunting for the last 2 weeks and, you know, so there's, you know, but we're training somebody so we can start being open on Tuesday, but he's like only been here for like a month. So
The day I was in for the written report, there was like 60 is here. Is that?
probably a Monday. Yeah, usually Monday's like every week.
Why don't you bring 2 people in each day? So the office is open.
Everyone late night.
Yeah, one late night.
2 guys and one thing, you're probably blaming it all, but why the hours like that? Because of the Chinese food, I mean, we still need those restrictions or? Is that what it is, or? First 15 hours are gonna be the way it's always.
So
Not my plan to have, I want the 4th day.
our
for sure.
solution was to get a office manager to run the office, so elected officials don't have to be here. Which would give us opportunity to have the hall open more frequently.
Yeah.
And then we also have a building department assistant now, so we'll have 2 people here. Hopefully all the time, we'll be able to have one late night and then regular hours during the week.
But I mean, like I said, I filed that written report 3 weeks ago. We called, our neighbors here called. And you just, like you said over there, nothing's getting done. No response. I mean, I agree, why pay them, you know,
Absolutely.
and if there's questions about the building department ordinance enforcement, they should be at a once a month meeting. Put them on the spot, say, you know, why the hell aren't you doing your job?
I do like that. Seems like at one point they used to come to the meetings, didn't they?
We'd invite them to ZBA hearings sometimes.
Not in any regular,
Not all the time, it seems like I remember them in the audience at
not
times.
regular.
I mean, Ron came, because just Ron came.
Ron
you know.
came all the time, right?
Because he would present his
Website that said
report,
that
yeah.
these were open today. Oh, well, 1 o'clock, it says closing soon, 2 o'clock.
Oh, the phone did?
On the website,
Oh,
I called and when it said, It's up to a quarter, apparently.
I think I called your wife when I got here, because she said he's on his way up.
Up to date.
Yeah, when I got here, I called. the gym.
Oh, okay, okay, good. I wanted to verify. that he
Yeah.
was.
Are there any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on. Communications, there was none. Approval of the agenda. I want to add a G under new business for ditching bids.
Extra agenda. There wasn't any.
There wasn't any on the table? I can go make
Look,
it.
one of them out there, they're all gone.
I'll just do that.
I think the problem is that Roland is reluctant to act. You know,
Yes,
I think that's the problem. I think he's reluctant to act on stuff.
is he afraid that it's gonna end up in court if he acts on it? Because I mean, if you have to, you have to.
No, he just always wants it to be someone else's idea. Like the wine guy, for instance, he didn't want to get involved until Joe decided, had to talk to him and tell him that to move on.
Website, why does it have approved minutes, not? Why are we doing?
So not put them in as approved until the board approves them. So like tonight we'll get not like,
Back on what the June.
yeah, so
Approved and
I
not.
would tell you that I haven't updated it recently. We had with all the adjustments and corrections that we had in them, we had several months where they would go back and forth. Well, they never got approved, so I left them off until they're official, I guess.
Anything else to add on the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the added item.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, routine business. Approval of minutes from September meeting. When I went over the one on the TCF, we need to put a price in there.
The rate you're saying?
Where does it say,
Because the only problem with getting the rates,
not the rate?
okay, not the rate, okay.
All right, but I did have her put that in there.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean, transfer, how much?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want the
Right.
dollar amount
The
of,
dollar
put
amount
in
of
there.
what we're transferring.
I have it.
I
Right.
just think that should be in there.
I think it's on that
On
report.
that
I don't know if there's
paper that-
interest on that one. I don't think there should be. Yes, no, that is the right amount. 132,588.42.
So I'm gonna change this to transfer CD.
42.
42, yep.
Wait,
132.
so, wait, you want to make,
Yeah, transfer,
transfer the CD to savings, with,
just anywhere in there, you can stick
Okay.
it. 132,588.42.
132,588. What was the cents?
42.
40?
42.
42. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the addition of the amount of the CD.
One second.
All in favor?
Like you said, all in favor. Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained.
He said you didn't have to go to the bank to transfer. You could do it online.
I went to the bank initially,
Okay.
and then I did it online because they had to refer me.
Treasurer report.
I know, well, I want to put out one page, so. Oh. Any questions? No?
I'll make a motion to file the treasurer's report.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Check register, general fund. I added a couple in here. I think I sent them out also. For a legal bill and Tracy's bill.
Well, I did talk to Tracy about the bill. He said he's gonna start sending it quarterly, and he said we don't have to approve it at the meetings. Whenever we pay it, he's fine. He said it's not critical to him for us to approve it at the meeting.
Well, we can approve it
We
separately.
can,
you
but
know,
it's just that it still has to go on next month's check register.
Okay, so we just had to approve it separate from this check register then.
Mhm. He said if he had wanted it earlier, he'd just send it earlier, but he's doing quarterly because it's easier for him.
Why would we go to paying him quarterly when,
That's his decision. He's not an
no,
employee.
it's this board's decision.
Well, then Bruce will have to tell him if you want it to be sent to us on a monthly basis.
He's gonna bill us.
But he's billing us for previous quarter, not.
Yeah, not in
Not ahead.
advance.
Well, that's even gonna make our problem worse, because if we're approving his paycheck for last month and he hasn't given us an enforcement report, why in the world are we approving it? He's gonna kick the can down the road, and then a month and a half, 2 months down the road, it's gonna be shoved under the table, and we're gonna approve everything and nothing can get done.
And for the fiscal year too, it'd be nice if, by March 31st, that, because we shouldn't have it go between 2 fiscal years, a bill. What do you want to hold off paying that then? Like approving Tracy's? And save it for the next check register?
It'll still have to go on the next check register.
Yeah, exactly,
It's just we approve me paying, writing the check before.
There's no,
Want that pulled out? Want that pulled out?
yes, because there's no report in here of what he's charging us for.
I know he did the permit list. He showed me that.
I've been asking for 8 months now to get a report of what this guy's doing, especially on the enforcement end. And here we are, we just keep paying them, and I keep told that's why they're here tonight. He's got to give us a report before I'll vote yes on paying him.
I think it says in the contract too, that he's supposed to give us a report, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah, I thought it did. He doesn't have a check on this register, right? No, he doesn't have anything, okay.
So below this, he did give us a list of all the permits. All the permits issued and all the building permits issued. This is just all the permits. This one is the building permits. So every one of these, he has to do his zoning part of it. So it's not that he's not doing anything. I totally understand your point, and you're entitled to your opinion.
If he's that, maybe we do need another enforcement officer if he's that tied up doing permits.
What's he done for enforcement? We haven't heard anything about enforcement in forever.
Well, he does have a court date coming up.
Yeah, I know we've asked
There's
for,
not been a lot of enforcement going on because of all of the zoning stuff that's been going on. And that'll flip flop as the building department slows down.
We said last month that he needed more hours so he could do enforcement and give us a report I was cool with that.
He spends a lot of time on the phone answering questions. People will just call and say, I'm thinking of building something. I need to, in fact, I had one I transferred to him yesterday that he wants to build a barn. He doesn't know how much he can put on his property, and he wants to know what he's zoned. And
That should be on the tax bill, and then that.
it doesn't matter if
How
it doesn't
big
matter
you
if it's
put
on your
the
tax
property,
bill.
it's on the building.
I know, Jeremy, but it's on the tax bill, and you do your research. Most people want somebody to tell them so they know what they're looking at is
Then all
correct.
he has to do is like they told me, do your homework and let me know what you want to do. Instead of being on the phone for 5-6 hours a day. I'm sorry. It's frustrating.
Well, if you guys want to make some changes, let's hear it. I mean, want me to look for another ordinance person in addition or instead of, or what, I mean, what do you want me to do?
No, I think he can do it. I think he can submit a report. We've asked him for it before,
I agree.
and
And I've
Yeah, I
asked
think
him for it every time I hear this.
I think it's part of it. If he turns in the permits like he did, he did those. But it'd be nice to know if we have any enforcement going on, or if he's had any complaints or anything that's been written up. I'm hearing people getting ordinance things for like not mowing their grass. And even though we did that. So I'd be curious who sent that one out.
I don't think we do anything for not mowing the grass. We don't even have an ordinance for that.
I know. That's why I wondered how I came out, somebody got it.
Now, no report, no paycheck. That's how I feel about it. You can't go to a job in the private sector and show up and fudge your way through everything. You have to produce or show what you've done. And it should be no different here. This is the taxpayers' money. If he doesn't like it, then I guess we will look for another enforcement officer. I know
You
it's
said if he needs more hours or something, you know.
right.
there's
If he needs
something-
another
if he's-
5 hours
you
or
know, if he
something,
needs Something,
so he can do
I mean,
enforcement.
we're willing to work with him on it, you know, obviously, you know.
But if he's only willing to give us 1 day a week because he's working elsewhere, then that's an issue too.
There's one in here. It's a permit. I believe it's a cancellation.
Yes.
That was a wine guy.
Is that the one that says Fraley Enterprises? It's like a
Oh, no, Fraley
off a
Enterprises.
notepad.
Fraley Enterprises are the stickers, the approved stickers. I had to order for them. Or Mike ordered them. I had Mike order them.
Show her the paper.
This one says need address and permit on same check.
Because, oh, I can't,
Oh, that's just on a sticky note. No, people come in with one check and the address fee is separate than the permit, the admin fee. It's different bank accounts. So they're probably, you'll see in here too, there'll probably be like some 60, yeah, look at the top of the, yeah, $65. They got it transferred to general fund and they come in with, oh, I got one check, you know, and then we're like, you know, so you
and
just gotta work with
we-
what they give
yeah.
us.
When we get BSNA, will we have something that will give us a digital copy of this? So we're not handwriting these? I wonder.
assume so.
we don't know. We'll know after we're trained. Well,
I
here's
would
the-
like to think
here's-
so, because I hate those just little sticky notes.
But we don't,
Date
we
and
don't,
time,
when they come in with
person.
one check,
I don't know what it is.
we tell them numerous times, we need 2 checks. Or 3, well, 2 checks normally, when they bring the 150 and then a 65 for the address, but a lot of them don't do that. And maybe, well, if they pay with a credit card though, they get a fee charged, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Can we just not accept it if they won't do it correctly?
We tried that. For a while there, we tried it.
We tried
It's
real
just
hard. It just,
killing
Send them away if they want it, they gotta bring 2 checks back.
You know,
If they wanna do it, then that's what they gotta do. You gotta follow the rules.
I don't have a problem with one check. I just don't like a handwritten thing on a sticky note
I think
with no
Justin,
date,
yeah, wrote
no
that,
time,
yeah.
no person, no any, you never know what it is.
If that's a common occurrence, it would seem there should be a form for that.
It only happens
transfer.
once, it's like we had two happen this month, wasn't it? Two of them happened this month? I don't remember. And then we won't get it for a while and then it's
Yeah,
just,
most people are,
most people are,
most
Justin's
people
supposed
come
to
with their-
emphasize that.
most
but I
people
don't know
come
if
with
he
their checkbook.
doesn't emphasize that
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't
But some
know.
people bring a check.
We have the same thing when we move the money for, is it the building department where we handwrite one, where we pay the rent or whatever? I
Yeah.
hate that one too. It just says the building department $1,500, whatever. It should be a form filled out that says we're moving it from here to there. and Somebody should put their name on it. that it's
That's a
handed.
good idea for Mike to like maybe create some type of form or something like that,
But
or if there's,
I think the people moving the money should be creating a form that makes it move.
Not moving the money, we're paying the rent.
So these ones here, 9-2 and 9-9. You see them at the top of the list there, what,
What are we looking at?
on the check register? 9-2 and the 9-9. Them are
a check
before,
number?
no, the dates. They're before the previous meeting, and I'm just wondering how they get in there.
Because it was after I printed the check register.
9-2, 9-9.
Yeah.
Right,
Probably did the
I did
check
the
register
check
the
register
first.
on the first, and then I did those.
So they were not on last month.
No, because that was already after I had printed
She
the
does it
check
right after the
register.
paycheck, so she gets it in the mail, right after
I
or
do,
whatever.
I do that because I want to get it to you, so you can, you always want it at the beginning of the week before the meeting.
Those are post-audit,
Yeah,
so yeah.
Wondering.
Yeah, it's because it was a Monday, sometimes when the first is on a Monday, you'll be able to do everything on Monday, or on a,
yeah, and if I
Friday.
print the register and then the next day the check, the bill comes. And that Verizon bill comes and it's like due in 10 days. It's crazy what they want.
And then the MMRMA, why are we paying that in installments? Why don't we just pay it?
That's the way they bill us.
But we can just pay it. I mean, it shows the whole bill. I just thought we would just pay the whole thing.
How much,
Well, because there's another one due in November and then there's another one due in, like, I don't know.
I think we pay 3 times.
Yeah, there's 3 times.
Is that last month?
In here right now.
we approved it at the meeting though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Last
had
month?
to because it
Yeah,
was due.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we did approve it last meeting.
So it's not on this check register.
yeah, it is
It's on the check register,
4,318.
But it was already approved, because we
It's,
brought the,
it's right under DTE.
I know
I
it
was
was.
looking for the initials.
You get a discount if you pay that,
No,
No, and there's not a penalty either, so I guess it's okay, but just, I don't know what the point would be.
but do you want that paid that way? Because if I paid the whole thing, that would mess up the budget because we're paying it installments all along. And I think
It would
one of
mess
those,
up the budget.
one of those payments would be over into the next fiscal year.
I think it matters, about how much we,
Yeah,
I guess you can do it that way.
yeah.
That would be a reason, huh?
well, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the general fund register for $232,357.59.
I got a question on Stafford's. Are we current with them?
Yes. We're just, usually I pay it and then like a week later, the next bill comes, but yeah, we're current. As we can be. Check 3149 to 3182 and 2 electronic.
I have another question, and I know this always ruffles feathers, and I don't mean to ruffle them, but I've got a question on mileage. Because I don't know the answer. Bob put in mileage to go from, because the roundabout was closed. But what's the federal guideline on what they'll pay for mileage?
They send it to us I get it every year in
What do
January.
they just, what's the guideline of what they'll pay? Because
What
they won't pay you, they pay you closest direct route. They don't care if there's a detour or anything, so I don't know what that.
I don't know. I mean,
Let me tell you about it then. The direct route was, with the road being closed, would have been a horrible road, which was brought up in your other meetings here about the condition of the road. And for $15 an hour, I can't take my car down that road, tear out the front end and the ball joints and the torsion bars and take over the Bruce's shop and get it repaired for what you're paying me to do it. So I had to take the pavement around. And like I told you on there, you don't have to cry about it anymore because the roundabout's done, so you should be a little better at it now.
I also have a complaint that I don't think we should be putting the garbage, and I guess it's not a complaint, I think it would be common sense, that we shouldn't put the garbage from the trash cans into your personal vehicle, so your personal vehicle doesn't get destroyed by putting the garbage in your car.
Well, I was setting it
So-
up, fun, people kept throwing it back at the thing, I mean. You want to get a dumpster over there? And I'll put it
Well, I
over
think we
there.
used
If
to
you
set it
wanna do
out-
I mean, you're more than welcome.
I believe we used to set it out all the time on trash day. We'd pull it out and set it there, and they would come by with the garbage truck and grab
I
it
used to set it on
They
Sunday.
started putting it back.
on Sunday.
I'm trying to remember. I did it for a little while, but yeah, I took it out there. It's
It-
disgusting.
It's horrible. I would never want to put it in my car. So there was one time you got gas in your car because of it. You don't get rid of gas. That's horrible to get out of your
Oh,
car.
I did. I had to
It's
take
like
the car
milk.
apart, scrub it and, you know.
And then
knock down-
you got another one because you had leaky bags. That's horrible. To me, it doesn't make sense to do it. I'd rather just pull it out and leave it there. Yeah.
I mean, you can give it
That's
a
me in
try,
my
leave
car. I
it.
wouldn't do it.
too, but, you know, like I would do this week, there was, you know, extra containers of stuff out there too, so,
When do you do it?
yeah.
When do you do it though? When day?
At one point Phoebe suggested I take it over just to the cemetery, then I use it.
Cause you go Sunday, don't you?
What day do you
usually?
go to the park?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, see, I used to do the trash, and I just used to put it out by the road.
I did that too, and then a couple times I come back and it was back by the garbage cans. I mean, I don't know who was doing it, but then we get rid of the bags, I put out, they were retied and somebody stuck them off the road.
Okay.
And I'm like, and I said something, she'd want to just haul them down to there. Yeah, I'm not real happy about hauling stuff in my car, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying to do a little bit of civic helping out and stuff. And you're worrying about me driving around on a paved road that's supposed to be my car.
Okay,
I
so,
mean, you're more than welcome to go do it
so we're
yourself.
clear. I'm not whining about it.
No, I-
There's a
sounds like we're whining
specific
about it.
rule that the government gives you for mileage that you're allowed to charge or not charge. That's all I asked.
Well.
You pay the direct route. I don't know the rule. I'm pretty sure it's a point to point route
You know,
and they don't.
We were told that when we were questioning the
It's the
ZBA
only reason I asked.
mileage.
Nobody's crying about it and you seem to always take it personally.
I do take it personally.
Well, I'm sorry that you take it personally. There's
There's
rules that have to be followed, and if the government says you can take a long route to get someplace and they'll gladly pay you that mileage, then take the long
Well,
route. I don't care.
I do know this though, if that was a posted detour, that would probably,
But we don't know that.
I'd say, but that was probably.
That's a
the
great
posted-
theory until we know
Wasn't
it.
that probably the posted detour?
Yeah, staying on
It
the
was?
pavement.
Yeah, I don't know,
Going
'cause
down
I
there,
avoided that
this
whole
road,
area the whole time.
Bombing up the grass. But, you know, you're more than welcome to go do it yourself. I mean, be my guest, you know. You probably
Well, if
gotta
that's the case, we
pick
could
up
hire
the
somebody else to
bucket,
do it
throw
then.
in the back, close it down, put a car wash, clean it.
I would do that. I'd park it out front and be done with it.
What's that?
I would put it out by the trash can and let them come pick it up.
And if they don't figure, if they put it back on, then you got 4 of them then.
Then why don't you get a hold of Waste Management and find out if they can drive through the little drive and pick up the garbage on garbage day? Problem solved.
There you go. And they'll take it out of the container too, or you?
They won't take it out of the container. You'll actually have to set it out.
I've got something else that pulled out. It's, I, Addison's time card. Do we have any policy about how we pay somebody hourly?
What are
What-
you?
what?
Danny?
Well, here's an example. On September 1st, she punched in at 9:22 and punched out at 2:01, and it was marked as 4 3/4 hours.
It's.
That's 4.5 hours. Any place that you work, if you miss,
7 minutes.
no. We don't have a policy. In most places, if you punch in at 9:01, you lose 15 minutes. I don't know if we have anything, we would need to really look into our handbook, but this rounding out the time like that, and it's always the benefit of the employee.
I don't know. I have
I
no
read
idea.
someplace 7 minutes.
I have no idea.
I don't have, so I grow waste
Bruce, what do you do
management.
at your work for time?
What's that?
I was asking what he does at his work, because, you know, he's employees, you know, for like the time if somebody comes
Actually,
at-
she writes the
Oh,
payroll.
what do you do?
15 minutes,
Okay, so if they get in at 9:01, do they
9:15.
do 9:15? Okay,
Well,
see, I'm
just
not too
induce
sure.
people that just
So
come in at
what we do,
9:15.
or what I do for my employees is we round to the nearest quarter hour. So if it was 9:10, they'd get paid,
From 9:15.
yes.
But if it was
If it
9:01?
9:01, they start at 9. So whatever way.
Because I think that's what you were doing, that was like that then.
Quarter
Yeah.
hour.
Whatever
I think
closest
I'm-
quarter hour you're
Quarter
to.
hour,
Yeah.
I think I'm doing it like she's saying. Did anybody support this or no?
No.
I didn't write anything down. No.
So it's interesting you say that. So you're at 9:22 on the 21st.
So that would be 9:30.
Yeah, but,
But if
okay,
it's 7 minutes, that's 9:15.
Yeah.
okay, and then on the
You know, the
19th,
closest quarter, I mean, if would they do the quarter
I'm
hour,
saying, though,
you
is
know?
we're using taxpayer money. We better have a policy.
I don't know if it's in the policy manual or not, but.
Well, you're not gonna pay them for coming in late extra, are you? You know, if they come in at 1 minute after 9, you're not gonna reward them, are you? I hope not.
I don't think so. I mean, but I don't do the payroll. So. Explain it. If you was doing payroll right now, just give a scenario.
Okay, I require everyone to be there 15 minutes before their scheduled time, so if there says 9 o'clock, I want them there at 8:45. I'll pay them for 8:45. If they're 8:46, they're not getting paid the 15 minutes, they get paid at 9 o'clock. If they're at 9:01, they're not gonna get paid again until 9:15. Same thing with clocking out. If they're supposed to be there till 10 PM and they clock out at 8 or 9:58, they get 9:45, they dock it.
What if they punch out at 10:05?
Then they get paid till 10 o'clock, not 10:05, and not to 10:15. If they work for 15 minutes, they'll get 15 minutes. Just the way it works.
Well, I guess, Bruce, you need to think about that. And if you want to add something, rewrite something,
Well,
I've been doing it kind of like,
I would have to look it up to even see if it's in the policy manual.
yeah,
I don't know, but. At one point, we were going to start working on adding some policies. And that hasn't happened yet. You can only get so much packed in a meeting.
This is not new, I mean, but it just really stuck out this month. And if that keeps happening, it's. I just don't know many places reward you for coming in late and punching out early and rounding it up for you.
So that's the question for the Department of Labor. They went into my. Just to be fair to the township, I mean, that's what there's an issue is. There are always checks and balances.
Give them 15 minutes before and after, because they have work to do before to get ready and after to get finished. It's not like they're scheduled till 10 and they can.
And your people are set to a shift too, so
Yeah, I've got different people coming and going, so that's why I allow it. You close it too, I don't know why you pay us.
Because sometimes
That's just
people,
what I mean.
because
I understand
sometimes
this
people
area.
come in and you can't leave at 2 o'clock. If you've got a customer, I mean, Justin's had people walk in at 2 minutes to 2, and when I get a permit, he's not gonna turn them away.
Mhm.
Anything else here?
The motion.
So all we're leaving out is the Tracy Calix bill.
I'll make a motion to
Is that correct?
pay the attorney bill for $150.
Is that separate?
Yep, separate.
All right, we'll do that separate.
So I'm just saying that's a separate motion right now.
Yeah.
All right, nothing else?
Means a second.
You did second it.
Yeah. I made the motion.
Berenger to
No,
approve.
I second the general,
Check,
yeah,
general
and now I,
ledger, not the other.
and I just made a motion for
Well,
this.
we
But we-
didn't,
we
we
didn't
didn't
vote on
vote
the other
on the
one.
general ledger.
So it's Berenger to approve electronic and 3149 through 3182. Duncan to second. All right, Duncan,
Yes.
Christie, no.
Did you say no?
He
I
said
said
no.
no. Berenger
Yes.
and Dudek
No,
and Keelman.
I vote no.
So that failed.
So what needs to be changed then? Is it just Addison's that we have
Me?
a problem? No,
Oh,
Addison's.
We have to know what
Yeah, 'cause I have to get
what, I
approved,
have
so
a
what
stack
needs
of
to-
bills that need to be paid. So what's
To
the
be
solution?
changed or pulled out or, you know. we gotta do
And if this is being held up over 15 minutes, then I'll readjust her check. All these other people need to get paid.
Can you readjust it next month, you know?
I could take
Is that-
15
is
minutes
that
off the
a
next
good way
check.
To do it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
any other motions you wanna?
You wanna
Throw out
deduct it
there?
15 minutes for next month? Or,
I mean, I know you guys say you don't have to say why you said no, but in this instance, we have to know why.
well, we just have to,
We have
we have to
we have,
approve
all these
something,
bills
so.
need to be paid.
What do you guys think?
well, I don't think it should be adjusted. I counted an hour additional pay that she got just on this, just on these alone.
So what do you want done? Because we need to move forward. It's already 8:35. Let's come up with a solution.
So you want 1 hour deducted? Or
I'll
like, you
just
want it
redo-
1 hour deducted next month, or you want it
Yeah,
deducted
'cause-
this month?
Well,
or,
then I
you
have
know?
to void this check out of the check register, which will then change the total that we just approved, we were going to approve. So I don't know what you want to do.
We won't know the amount.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to void this check of hers, so it's still gonna make this wrong.
Are you guys okay with,
Unless I do the hour next month.
you know, take away an hour next month? Are you guys comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's the easiest
You know,
way.
that's, okay.
Okay, then we'll make a motion to approve this minus 1 hour on Addison's check.
Hang on. Bruce, was there something else you had that you might have addressed in there?
I just don't like Bob's stuff. About 2 hours and the 1.25 hours and 24 miles and all that. I just don't like it, so. I don't know what you can do about that. I mean,
I think the only solution is to get.
I'm
Waste
gonna look
management.
into it. I had it written right here.
Pick the
I'm gonna look
garbage up.
into the mileage pay.
It
And I'm gonna
eliminates
call
them.
the Department of Labor and find out about clocking in and out.
Right. Yeah,
I'll get answers, I hope.
nobody should put it in their own car. It just shouldn't happen. That's gross.
So you're gonna call Waste Management about that?
I already texted them
Oh,
a
okay.
minute ago.
I have an issue. Yeah, that was probably my biggest issue. I don't think anybody should put it in their own car. I've thought for a long time, we need something to go on with payroll so it's consistent all the time. That's what the time cards were for. I guess I didn't realize we were rounding up, rounding down, either way.
Unless you can come up with some kind of time clock that prints the hours. I don't know if there's such a thing.
Excuse me?
Just show up on time.
That's an idea.
There should be no issue.
We could have Mike prepare the payroll and.
Yeah, I look at Mike's, he punches in at 8:55 and after 2
Well, I was
o'clock.
looking at that too. His is like, I don't know how he does it. He's dead on every time.
He gets here really early.
That's just responsibility. I mean,
Yeah,
like my staff, if they show up late, they get talked to, they show up late the second time, they get talked to, the third time I fire them.
So,
End of story.
so what
Because We're
is,
dealing with human lives in my business.
so what are
They
we,
can't be late.
what are we going to do here? Let's make up our minds.
Maybe. Yeah, man, his is dead on. He's 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after every freaking punch.
Okay, but that's not what we're discussing. Let's get the, move
Well, I think
on.
we need a
Let's figure
solution
something
for it.
out.
I don't know.
Let's figure
We've
something
been,
out.
we've been calculating hers, who knows, incorrectly for how long. Yeah, we might need to look into a different way to handle time cards and payroll going forward.
let's see what Bruce finds out from the Department of Labor. If there's something with government that, you know, says we have to pay, you know, or a grace period of 5 minutes once a month or something, we'll see. But if not, I got a feeling we can determine a policy and I just, anywhere I've ever worked, you don't get rewarded and rounded out for.
Okay, so you said an hour for Addison, and is there anything else? So we can make a motion? I mean, we don't have to keep talking about it. Let's move on. Let's decide what we want to do.
So we'll just wait for next month to get some policies in place.
But in the meantime, do you want me to make a motion to approve this, but with the notation that we're taking an hour away on her next check? Was that the only thing we were doing?
Does that get you to yes vote?
Pardon me?
I just asking yes, Dan, if it gets into a yes.
I'll second the motion.
So do you redo the motion?
So Berenger to approve ELE plus 3149 through 3182, Duncan to second, with the caveat,
Remove 1 hour from Addison's check next month.
remove. What'd you say, 1 hour?
1 hour, that's what Skip said.
From deputy. Clerk. Next month. That's it? Okay, do that,
Yes.
Duncan. Christie. No. Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Well, yes.
okay, Carrie. Building fund. Why are we giving Robert Collin money back?
Bob had us cancel permits and that is the balance of, we took the admin fee off and gave him, he told him he had to have commercial,
So he has to apply for different
a
permits?
commercial
You have a
contractor
commercial
has to pull the permit.
Electrician has to-
He can't pull it himself.
He doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, Bob said no,
Okay,
and Tim
And
was,
plumbing too.
and
well,
plumbing.
that's good enough reason.
So we refunded,
So we refunded him and he's gonna start over.
right.
For electrical and.
Yeah,
plumbing.
he can't pull it as a homeowner.
And where's Roland on this issue?
Oh, Roland agrees.
Where's Roland on doing his part,
Oh,
the
Roland,
inspection?
Roland, well, I think, did they go out there? Him and somebody was supposed to go out there. Well, he hasn't, I don't- I don't know, because I think he's changed that permit again. I don't know. I don't know anything
Okay.
about it, so
Alright.
I'm not sure.
And I saw, and Justin showed me pictures that the guy stole.
Yeah, he
something
showed me
else, too.
He put that deck on. He showed me had me, because I had to have him, he had to have me print them because he wanted to
Okay.
color.
Well, that explains that. That's all I had on that.
Okay, then I make a motion to approve checks 3295 through 3306 or 3296 through 3306 for 14,614 plus 2 electronic.
14,614.98.
Does that point and pay only go to the building department?
Yes, that's what Phoebe said.
Don't we use it? Can't
But
we
it
use
won't.
For everything?
We don't use point pay.
Yet,
Yes, we don't use point pay for anything else yet.
but because the financial portion is not in place yet. But when it is, then we'll probably drop that GoGov or whatever, it is, GovPay or
yeah.
whatever it is, and just
And
use
that one's
point,
free right now, so we don't have to worry.
And
It's not like
point
we're
and pay
losing any money or
do
anything.
everything then.
So because there's so much money in buildings, we pull it out of there.
No, but we're technically, we have to pay it from there because the building is the only one using it. I suppose we
Well,
could,
at this point, building is the only one
I
using it.
guess, yeah, because it won't be
But-
till the end of the fiscal year, so, and it's a one-time fee, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know how you really figure that then, you know?
So down the line, we hope to collect taxes and everything through that.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? Keelman,
Yes.
Judith,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Duncan,
Yes.
Berenger,
yes.
Harry.
Before I go any further, do you want to make that motion to pay this legal bill?
Oh, yes, I'll make the motion to pay the $150 attorney bill.
Second on that,
I'll second.
Berenger,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Judith,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
carried.
I Make a motion to approve check 6053. 15,000.
6063.
6063. Or 15,627.71. Garbage bill.
Second,
I'll second.
are we watching, the fuel surcharge?
Yeah, there's a little bit in there if you saw,
Are we
the
spelling-
bill is
are
in
we
there.
figuring it out, seeing that they're not miscalculating?
I don't know what the gas
It's about
fuel
400
charge
bucks,
is,
isn't
I
it,
wouldn't know.
per month right now?
Last month,
So, because you gotta be careful not to just pay what they tell
last
you.
month was 151,
All right, well, that's probably not
you know,
bad.
15,661, okay, so it went up $10, so it'd be 161, about 161 for this month.
There's gotta be a way to calculate that, so we did it before, right?
I have no idea. I don't want to know how they calculate it. What, do they calculate what the price of diesel is the day they send the
I don't
bill?
know what you guys.
I'll figure it
I don't
out
know what you guys said last.
I have no idea. It's,
I'll
once
figure it
it's
out.
over, what, how much a gallon?
After 289.
And if it, my feeling would be then they should be figuring that every week, right? Because the gas should be a different price every week.
Yeah, it might even be in the contract. I'll have to look. All right, Christie, yes. Duncan,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
carried. Park fund,
I'll make a motion to approve check number 7074 for $300. in the park fund.
Also, I'll support.
second on that, was there a second?
Me,
Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan. Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger,
yes.
Christie, yes. Carried. Liquor control,
I'll make a motion to approve check number 8071 for $50.
I'll support.
87. Christie, yes. Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
carried. Ordinance officer report. So what he gave me were these permits. He said to tell you that every one of them, he's had zoning to do on them, questions to answer. He's had to go out to places, he's had to look at the prints and such. And every one of them goes through him before it goes to the building department. So he did say to tell the board that as this slows down, he'll be more into the ordinance enforcement. I will,
He must be out doing some though, because
he is
He's
doing
been at
ordinance
Reams.
enforcement. He's been to Ed Reams and he issued a ticket
yeah,
and he's been. I know that the one, oh God, the ones that had that little shop of horrors place at Gratiot and 32 Mile.
yeah. the one that's on-
Yeah, they live in our township and
On Bowman, or on Big Hand.
is it on Big Hand?
Mhm.
He's been there too. We talked to somebody on Short Road at the garage. And he talked to somebody at wherever they're plowing up all that dirt on the little V piece on Short Road and between Short Road and Gratiot.
He went out to that one on Big Hand too, that Diane Cooper called and said they were building a big berm.
What'd they say about that one
Which one?
between Short and Gratiot? Did he tell you?
Oh, they said they're building a house,
So,
but they don't have a permit yet.
they don't have a permit, but they park a semi truck there every night.
Yeah.
And is it lawful to have a culvert off of both roads?
The road commission guy told me it was.
I would think so. Why couldn't you?
Yeah, they got the permit from the road commission.
And he.
But he'd have to file and get a permit for both of them and pay the fee, right?
Well, he did, because that doesn't go through us. That goes through the road commission.
And I know there's this guy, I can't think of his name right now. But his neighbor has 20 dogs. And now he's tearing up his yard to build another piece onto his barn right up to the lot line. And he wants to pour his driveway there, and you have to be a certain far off the lot line for a driveway or a building for that matter. And I know he went over that guy's house last Monday, not yesterday, last Monday. He went over there and checked it out right while I was here.
I figured he was doing stuff.
I mean, he's doing stuff.
Be nice to see it.
I know it would be nice to have a report. I'm kind of at a sticky spot with that because I'm trying to get reports out of the building department and his department. But are we willing to fire people over it? And if we are, then I want that to be a board decision and I'll make it happen.
What reports aren't you getting out of the building department?
When does the building department ever write us a report of what's going on?
I've never seen one.
Right.
It's the
Have you asked
enforcement
for
end.
Oh, on the enforcement end?
Well, not.
Well, the enforcement has nothing to do with building.
Not just
That's,
enforcement. No, you're right. It does have nothing to do with it. But I should know for the board that, and maybe this is it. I mean, we got something this month anyhow, that they finalized out 10 of them and they got 3 new ones and they got 20 of them in progress or something. I'm just saying something. If you guys want information, I'm trying to get you information. I'm not been very successful at
maybe
it.
If they
Justin,
don't provide the report at the end of the month, then they have to come to the meeting and present the report.
I can try that one on.
Because then they can answer all the questions that we might or might not have.
Could we make that a decision here?
Why
Are
not?
you saying Roland comes or Justin comes?
Either, no,
because Justin would be
The
the,
building inspector, he has to come.
Justin would be the one to make the
So,
report.
and would we pay Roland to come here? Like the administrative hours,
I wouldn't
You know?
care.
I'm just, we gotta know this. Justin just does the paperwork and things,
right?
And Roland wouldn't write reports because Roland doesn't know what's coming in and what's going out because Justin's the one that's doing the,
And I have
BSNA.
been talking to Justin about doing reports.
and I bet he could call BSNA and maybe they could explain to him how he could print something up. They're very good. about helping.
Justin could or Roland could?
Justin would have to do
What does
it.
Roland do?
he does inspections and everything.
He does the
And-
plan
And he
review.
does the administrative part of the building department.
Well, he's the one we need to report from, or we need.
He's basically-
I don't understand.
Roland's supposed to be in charge of the whole building department. Like, he's supposed to be,
But it sounds to me like Justin's the one doing all of.
Justin's doing all the
He does the
paperwork,
paperwork
basically.
part of it, like the administrative part of it. Like takes money. this and that.
Answers
Issues
phone.
the permits.
He's been answering emails and
Because some
phone
people
calls
just get
and
an
issuing
electrical
permits.
permit and Roland's not gonna be in charge of electrical, that's Bob. There's different inspectors for different areas, so.
But there are certain duties that a building official has as opposed to building inspector. And Roland is playing both roles. And it's the building official portion where I think he's lacking. He's doing his building inspections. And he's following the law on those. I mean, it's not like he's giving people okays when they don't have an okay coming.
Yeah,
But-
I feel very comfortable with what he's, you know, nothing shady has ever happened with him, that's for sure, that I know of, you know.
But the problem comes when it's time, when there's a problem, he's slow to act.
I don't know, for the wine thing, he was saying, no, this is not
Yeah,
right.
he was.
He was.
No, I know he
adamant,
was
you
saying
know,
no,
Yeah,
but he wasn't,
he was saying,
you can't just say no
But-
and not take any
but the whole
action.
point is it has to go to zoning first before it has to come to him. That's a lot of it too, is zoning has to approve it. And so it wasn't his right to not approve it yet, because it was technically.
And I know,
So, because Tracy had to approve it first.
yeah, and
you
then I know he made Tracy go out and see if there was adequate parking that wasn't obstructing the right of way up the road. He did mention to me, he was supposed to, I think he was supposed to have 5 parking spaces or something, and they can't obstruct the right of way. But I don't know what happened, I don't know.
I think he's got 3. It looks like they're half in the ditch and half out of the ditch,
Oh, yeah, and I don't know what came of that, because he just told me he told Tracy to go there.
right in his grass. It's not like they're not even gravel or anything. It's just,
I don't think there's any way that guy's gonna succeed, it's just, but. Anyway,
So if there's no more questions. Do we wanna make a motion that if they don't produce a report, they can come here and give an oral report? Sure.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'll make a motion that we make it a requirement that if we don't receive a report from either the building enforcement or the building administrator is his title,
building department, is that what you
So
want?
building department.
or building department, that they have to attend.
And the,
Department
and the
report
ordinance?
and an ordinance report.
correct.
Require a report from the building department and the ordinance department or an in-person,
Or,
is that what you want?
all right, so
I want to know how. to
building
do this.
department report and ordinance report for the meeting. Or
Representation.
appear and give an oral report.
Correct.
Hey,
Well, a piece of paper would always be nice, not just cheap talk, you know, and something in writing. And if you want to grill them, bring them in.
What's the repercussion? What are we saying? Are we just saying that we are requiring them to do this?
Here,
Is that what we're
require,
doing?
is this how it's
Or is that
worded?
I think that's what
Require-
we're doing.
Okay,
Require a report from the building department and the ordinance department for the meeting, for the monthly meeting. Or appear and give an oral report.
Without pay.
Without pay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Keelman,
Yes.
Berenger,
No,
Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan,
No.
Christie? Yes. All right, it's carried. I mean, we gotta try something. So assessor report. Any questions?
And is it, Dolan, is that going? or is that
To the
already gone
tribunal.
To the tribunal?
We've made a counter offer is where it's at right now. We'll just see what happens.
He felt he shouldn't pay taxes on?
Well, he wanted to pay taxes on what he decided it was worth. And,
In the highest real estate market in 20 years.
right, but he
Makes sense.
just picked his number out of the air. He didn't do any surveys to get comps. And how hard would it be to get comps on a church? Pretty hard, but assessing people have ways of doing comps on stuff like that on commercial buildings. But he didn't get or what am I trying to say? An
Yeah.
appraisal.
Yeah.
He didn't get an appraisal. He didn't do anything. He didn't even answer the attorney's questions. So basically, if we took him to court right now, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. So in order to try to avoid the court, we threw a bone to him and said, you know, agree to this much or we're going to court. So that's where we're at. So it's probably gonna go to court because we didn't come down that much from Sess's original assessment.
Any idea what it was assessed, what it was assessed at?
Do I have any idea what Sess assessed it at?
Right.
825,000. And just so you know, we offered 6 and he's saying 2. So that's where we're at.
I'll take it off his hand for 200 grand. Done.
Well, the real estate guy has it listed, but he don't have a price listed on it, because I think he don't want anybody from our side to get any of that information, because that listing information
Does it,
would basically cook him if
does
he,
it come up now online when you look?
yeah, but it only says it's for rent for $5,000
Seth
a
said he was
month.
gonna try to secretly call them, you know, or something like that, like, alright. To try to see if he could
Yeah,
figure it out.
The listing says just for rent for $500 a month,
Yeah.
but it's for, or I'm sorry,
500?
5,000 a month. But it is for sale. And I was told he's asking 400,000 for it, but it's not written anywhere. So I don't see him settling, so we'll just see.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does, because I mean, it's not gonna be that big a deal if it does end up in court, and I think he's gonna lose, because he presented nothing.
Is how much lawyer fee are we gonna have to go to the tribunal?
Well, I don't know.
They give you an estimate of 10 grand, 15 grand?
He didn't. He didn't, but he's still billing us monthly for whatever he's working on it, you know. So the clock's ticking on it still.
And then who for law would we hire to fight that?
Stremmers is dealing with it still.
Oh, okay.
That case was still going, and he said he would tie up any loose ends. And that's the loose end left. I don't think there's any other loose ends left.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. So last month, you guys voted for me to find an attorney to write a release of claim. Have both the sides sign and get back to me. Michael told me that he wasn't signing it. Said he didn't feel that he did anything wrong. And I haven't heard anything from the clerk.
Well,
So,
I was advised not to sign it.
so then where does that leave us?
I got all kinds of questions.
Mike and I have it.
So, hang on.
Mike and I don't have any issues with each other.
But we called Mike in the office the other day and asked him why he wouldn't sign this letter.
We who?
You and Phoebe.
I didn't. No, I didn't call him in the office.
Did you two have a discussion with Mike asking him to
I
sign this
asked
letter?
Mike if he got a letter and he said, yes,
we all
I
got it
did.
at the same time. We asked him if he got it.
I said, did you get the letter?
And then he said he has to show his attorney or something.
And he said, I called my attorney and he advised me not to sign it. That was about the sum total of the conversation.
I think, well, I don't want to speak for him, you know.
No, I don't want to speak for him either, but that's what he said to
I
me.
think it was, he felt like it wasn't harassment or something.
I don't know.
Personally,
I don't know
what he
exactly
said.
what he said. He
Something
just
about-
said his attorney advised him not. to
Dean, this is a
either.
release of claim. If he was to sign this prior to anybody else that made the claim against him signing it, that would mean he's at fault. So if I was him, I would never touch this and admit that I did something.
And I think that's what it was. He didn't like his side to show
Absolutely
that
not.
he had some type of.
Right.
This opens a whole can of worms, which is what you said last month. When an attorney
Yes.
should do this. One, I can't believe one did it. Two, now this opens up a whole nother problem for the township that now has to be addressed. Absolutely. A claim was made, so now it has to be investigated. There's no way around it. It's the only way you can protect the township.
We're putting our insurance carrier at risk.
Excuse me. I just, no. So where do we go from here?
I'm gonna make a motion that we pursue Bruce's offer last month to turn this over to our insurance carrier's lawyer to investigate.
He said that last month.
Remember, I presented,
You presented that, but that wasn't our insurance carrier.
it was our insurance carrier referred me to that attorney. And when I called MMRMA about it, I was trying to get advice. I called a couple of different attorneys and I called MTA and I called them and I was trying to put together what I should do as supervisor to deal with this situation. And then that's what they came up with. And so that's what I presented, but I mean,
So
it
they
was
want you to
not,
go back to them? Is that what?
Well, they were- he's saying right now that we should go to that attorney, turn it over to that attorney and let them,
The
which is-
MMRA attorney or the attorney that
the
wrote the
attorney
letter?
that wrote the letter, who is an employment attorney who was referred by MMRMA.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Who, this guy here?
No.
Oh.
No, that's just the guy I
Oh,
got to
that's
write the
somebody
letter.
else. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was connecting.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you meant
I just
that
got
guy.
him to write the letter last month.
Oh, okay.
And with that motion, I think we need to follow through on the separation plan that you presented last month too, until this is concluded.
Well, good luck getting yours.
To turn over to employment attorney to Do investigation, right?
Correct.
And
Did they recommend that you do that? The separation right now?
yes, they told me to keep them separate or have a third person there all
They
the
told us to
time.
do it immediately.
They did tell me to do it.
Well, what if I'm
immediately.
always there when Angie works or something like that? You know, if you said there's a third person there, you know,
Justin's there every,
and Justin's there too, you know.
I just, if you read this separation thing, which I said last time was ludicrous, because every single one of these things is directly targeted, not against Mike, but against me. Because I'm supposed to, interact by email. We talk every day when he's here about the things we need to discuss. He asks me for help on things he's working on. Third party has to be present. I can't go to the counter. I can't conduct any business. So when the lady comes on Wednesday, if he's here to buy grave, what do? Go stand in the parking lot and show her the cemetery plots? We have to stay out of each other's offices. He doesn't come into my office. I have to walk through where he sits. Unless you're gonna make me a
What if we
separate
put-
door out
What
of
if we
the
put him in
building.
like Bruce's office, because then that would be separate.
Yeah,
in a
then put
way.
him in a
'Cause the
different
problem
room.
is he's just in the main area,
Yeah.
you know, what if he like,
Jointly
grabs his laptop
jointly
and
used
sat there for a
equipment has to
while.
be moved to a neutral area. The copy machine will then have to be moved, which is hardwired, which that means you need to have somebody come in. If you want me not in my office and in the old hall, you've got to move my computer, my printer, my desk, my file cabinets, which are then unsecured. They're in an open room. Now, think about how ridiculous that sounds. Mike and I have gotten along perfectly well. We worked everything out. He stood here last month
Okay.
and said we worked it out. You guys are trying to make an issue out of this
No,
way
no.
more than it ever was.
That's not at all what just happened.
Okay,
Wait a minute. If the MMRA recommended this attorney and the attorney says an investigation must be completed because an allegation was made and no one will sign a release of claim,
well, if you read that
either the
release,
person that made the claim
Did
or
you
the
get
person that the
copy of
claim
that,
was
Dave?
made against,
I sent it to everybody, didn't I?
then absolutely.
I don't know, it's not in
I
mine.
just don't print it.
Then absolutely it needs to be investigated. I said it last month. Somebody in the audience agreed with me. It cannot be left hanging out. No way in the world.
I think the only problem is just because Mike's office is in the center area, so it's, I don't know what's a better way to, you know, that's why I don't know if, would you mind if he went into your office, Bruce, to just like have his laptop? I mean, that's all he has is his laptop.
But no, he needs his computer. He's doing the.
Oh, he has a
fire runs.
computer now.
Yeah,
I
he has
forgot.
to have
I was
a
thinking about the
computer.
laptop.
He
And
has to
phone.
have his phone.
Oh, yeah,
And he has a phone.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
same is for Angie too, you know,
Right.
so that's what the problem is, you know.
You can't, if you do all of these things, and the one I like the best is when the clerk or office manager interact with others, there should be a closed door between us. So that means if somebody comes, I don't even understand how you think we can conduct business.
But they said it's okay if there's just a third party always there instead of the separation of the offices.
I don't agree with a third party at all.
I mean, what if Mike and Angie work alternate days or something like that? You know, I mean, we can't just punished Angie, you know, we have to work with both of them, you know.
How are we punishing Angie?
Well, I'm just saying for her to have to move her office out there, I mean, we can't do that,
You
you
still have an
know.
office, you still have a phone, you still have a computer, you still have access to residents when they come
Where,
in.
like moving everything?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why would we go through that expense to move me into that other room? Then I want it,
We'd have
then
to
it would
find a
have to be an
phone thing,
enclosed
too.
room that I could lock up. I have sensitive
What if they
information.
work alternate days or something, you know? What if,
Then he'll have to have his hours cut. Because I have to be here when we're open. Like the lady who came yesterday who needs to buy a grate. I can't tell her, you can't come because I'm not there.
Was the deputy here?
Some days,
No.
I guess, I don't.
Can she do grave stuff?
No,
Why not?
because I never showed her that and feel
Because
comfortable
I
with her
believe,
doing
I
it.
believe the deputy is supposed to be able to work in your absence.
She's only working usually 1 day a week right now.
Right. The whole role of a deputy is to have the deputy be able to work in your.
Dee Dee,
absence
could your
if you
mother
can't-
do
if
your
you're not at
taxes?
work.
Could your deputy do the taxes if you weren't there? No.
You should definitely look into that too.
then we're gonna have to pay people then.
All right,
You
so,
guys aren't willing to pay
listen.
people all the time, you know? So that would be more
Just an
extra
idea.
expense.
just an idea, so do the separation plan at the attorney's discretion, or you will not want to put that in there and leave it? Or just leave it like it is, or?
I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that.
So is there a second? Was there a second?
Oh, I'll second it. I thought you were still writing it. Hey, this opened up the township to a major problem because somebody made an allegation. I don't care who made the allegation. It needs to be addressed, and if nobody's taking it away, we'll step up to the plate and say it didn't happen, then it absolutely did happen, and it has to be investigated. That's the way it is.
All right.
Sorry.
Berenger,
No.
Gilman,
Yes.
Duncan?
No.
Dudek,
Yes.
Christie, yes.
We'll just have consequences.
All right, ARPA money.
Wait a minute. Can you tell me exactly how you wrote that up?
Says Dudek,
No, no,
Gilman.
not the vote. How did you write the motion?
I'm reading it. Dudek, Gilman to turn over to employment attorney to do investigation and do the separation plan. ARPA money.
Well, we got money, so, I don't know.
We need to start a bank account for it, right?
Yes, that's one thing. I didn't know if you guys just want to leave it in the First State Bank. Or if you guys want me to look for another bank account. I just know, you know, First State Bank is
I think a separate bank account,
in
then,
First State Bank.
but not in the general fund.
Yes, yep. That's what I was thinking too.
Is there going to have, is it gonna have to be a checking account? Because if we're, whatever we decide to use the money for, we're gonna have to pay bills on
I
it.
assume so.
Okay.
Yes, I would
That's what
think- I would think
First
so
State
too.
Bank.
Well, we had a meeting with BSNA yesterday and I asked about the QuickBooks checks. They thought they would be able to format everything so we could use up the checks we have. So we've
Well,
got
that's
to
good.
keep that in mind too. So when we get this, we'll get the minimum amount of checks.
Yes.
So a motion to start a separate bank for ARPA.
Who made the motion?
Nobody did.
Oh,
I'm just asking for one.
I'll make it.
I'll support.
you
got half of it so far, 200.
We got, I put it, it's in the treasurer's report. I don't know,
It
it
was
was
218
218 maybe.
So we're gonna say a different check
separate
account.
checking account.
Okay, checking account. Say First State Bank too, because I know they always require minutes for stuff.
At
so.
First State Bank. Okay,
And then when will we get the second half? You said next spring?
it's like a year from now, isn't it? The other half?
I don't remember. I know it's.
It's a long
I
way
know
off,
it's not-
at least 7 or 8 months, I
And you
thought.
said the county is in talking stages about broadband?
The county's in talking stages about broadband. Dave Russian called me yesterday, but he wouldn't go into it. Secret.
Well, Whitmer said something,
Secret.
Whitmer said something at the one meeting, the one press conference she was at last week, and she talked about broadband, trying to have the state bring broadband out to the communities that need it.
Well, I certainly hope something happens soon because internet's horrible. I can't drive from here to the gas station without dropping phone calls 2 or 3 times because they're not even.
Always on that
cell.
corner. I
And
always
then
lose
up-
it.
going
Yeah.
up Wales Center, I know where all the dead spots.
Yeah, I
are.
know, right? I mean, and for this too, you know, I just wanted to, I've been reading MTA on it and everything. I'm not familiar with filing with the state with all this, you know, I've never done this before, you know, kind of like for park grants, we have a company do it for us. So I just want to say that if it starts getting too in depth with stuff, you know, you can hire a firm or somebody to help file stuff with the state or whatever, but it counts about what we're gonna use it for too. You know, so I know everything's up in the air, you know, we don't have to file anything for a
Right, till
while.
next April.
So just keep it in mind. I do have a list that MTA gave
And I-
of people that will help you with it.
Okay, and I'm
you know.
sending you everything I get on it. So if there's any webinars or anything to
Yes.
do.
Yeah, I just, the problem is everything's up in the air and they keep changing their mind. and, you
I
so-
know, and I do, and I do.
And I don't wanna do something wrong and then be responsible for something that,
So
you know, I'm not, you know.
You're thinking that they're
experienced in
gonna-
this,
I get
you
it,
know.
and I do
Yeah.
I do the
For the
reporting
grants,
for the
yeah.
grants, and it's horrible.
Exactly, yeah.
So we might have to hire an outside firm to properly file the forms to get this money.
The forms are not
No,
easy.
I already applied and we got it.
We got the
obviously.
money.
But it comes
but
about
With
how
the
it-
government, you have to report everything like every 6 months or
expense
every year,
reports
whatever their criteria is for that particular money. And they ask a lot of information and they're not forthcoming with answers. Like just on one of the grants I do, there's this lady in Washington DC named Carly Carter, and she'll write me and say, Bruce, FB 508 needs the report done. So then I try to get that report done. I have to get information from Angie. I fill it all out. I send it back. They don't tell you what you did wrong. They just reject it. And then you gotta, I mean, you can ask them questions, but they don't answer you. You have to like guess what's on their mind to get it right. They're a hassle. I don't look forward to doing them. I could see
No,
why she wouldn't, but.
It sounded too good to be true. They'll probably make you hire one of their government recommended firms. And
Let's hope that it all is easy.
But if it's easy, then, you know, I'm just saying that if it starts getting too in depth, I don't feel comfortable doing too more, you know, messing up or anything, so.
And you can pay for
And we can
the,
always send the
And you
money
can
back.
pay for the report, the people you hire out of that money, so it's not like. the
And if we
township-
don't use it, we have to give it back too,
Right.
so.
Okay, so start a different checking account at First State Bank. With
You can say the
ARPA.
amount too for,
$110,855.
210,000
$855.
Say it again.
even.
210,
210-855.00.
855. Yep,
Thank you. Keelman,
yes.
Dudek,
yes,
Christie, yes. Duncan,
yes.
Berenger.
Yes.
Okay, now, I wanted to bring up another thing, talking about money. Can we start some kind of separate account to put part of that general fund money in?
Oh,
Isn't it pretty high?
I told you guys, remember I brought it up, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, we got a lot of money in there, and
Well, we
then.
But like, didn't we talk about it was gonna go down or
You
something?
said it was gonna, well. how much
We
is it
paid
now?
170 for the drain, and then if you take the 217 out, what's the balance gonna
What,
be?
217? This is what we just got?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause that's
210, I
included in the
mean.
balance, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be about 400,
Oh, all right. Well, if it ends up around there, we're okay for now then, I think. All right, never mind.
That drain did a good number on it.
All right.
Yes, and I think it's where we talked about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
waiting.
Authorization to accept money.
I tried to keep it kind of simple. I was trying to think into it too much and then I was like, I'll just keep it kind of more vague. What do you guys think? Obviously, it's gonna be, for taxes, if I'm there, I'm always taking taxes, I don't want somebody to be taking taxes when I'm there, unless I'm on the phone or something like that, but it's just, as I put, when needed,
Okay,
I would just need to make a
do we
motion.
want to accept Phoebe's?
Does all accounts mean Mike can take taxes, Angie can take taxes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and if we're building, if, some, Justin's gone, they can take building department, it's very,
So if we've got Angie, Mike, and you taking taxes, do we need Addison?
we don't need Addison, really. She's only done it like, what, a few times?
Yeah, but
like-
I
like
mean, if
she's
I'm
really,
not
like-
here, I mean, if somebody else is here, she doesn't need to
And but
go.
that's the thing, Mike would be here then,
Yeah.
so yeah, we can scratch that one. That's why I was kind of like, oh, I could put that. That's why I just put taxes for her, but we can scratch that one. I'm fine with that.
Would just cross her off entirely.
Okay, yeah.
So, motion, it says, accept treasurer's authorization to accept money. Policy. Someone like to make that motion?
Maybe the treasurer should.
Hmm?
Maybe the treasurer should.
Oh, I'll make the motion.
Well, thank you.
I'll support.
Dudek,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Duncan,
Oh, yeah.
Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger.
Yes.
So I think this would be one of those things that the lawyer would want everybody to sign.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'll just go off this one then. All right, you guys don't get a line.
I wanted a
I
line.
know, right?
I'm gonna make a copy of that.
Yeah,
And
I want a copy
I'll
too.
I'll put a copy of that in the.
Pen and I got
resolution book,
pencil.
just so it's kind of there.
Yeah,
It
'cause I
gets
was
to
gonna
you,
put it
go
in my
make a
folder
copy,
too,
all right?
Yeah.
Or no, go make 4 copies.
Five.
5.
I want to put one in. the book.
You know how to run a copy machine?
Put the date on there too. I think
Today
it's
the
12th,
12th.
right?
Do you want to wait for him to come back for bonds?
Yeah, just don't wanna know.
Original's on the top.
Thank you.
Did I get one?
I wanted
Oh, you
to,
want to?
because I want to put
And
one,
I'll copy.
yeah,
mine.
I want to put one in that one binder.
Okay, bonds.
I called, Ron, from the insurance company for the bonds, because you guys were looking at the invoices and the dates were wrong on it. And I told him that, I said, well, the dates are wrong on the invoice. He said, not a big deal, who cares, it's just a typo. He says, as long as the bonds are
It's
okay.
not the actual bond.
Yes, he said, as long as the bonds are okay, that's all that matters. And I said, well, they wanted the starting date to be August 9th, and he said, no. He said, the place that does the bonds, he said, they said, no, we will not do that. He said, I specifically asked them to, and they said, no, we will not do that. We always do it for the term. So that's what he told me. So it's I don't know who, somebody does the bonds, like a bond section for him or whatever.
No,
if
it's a company that he deals with.
Okay, yeah,
Cause I talked to him also and had him explain it to me, and he said, if that bond was bought on the last day of your term,
mhm,
it would cover the entire term.
Okay. Yeah.
And the price would be the same.
Hmm.
So he said it doesn't matter, they are only sold by terms,
okay.
and that they're
okay.
willing, if they're willing to take you on, they're willing to take the risk from the time before you were signed up.
Okay. Well,
That
that's even
makes
more
sense.
information. Yep, yep. So I just wanted to, because you guys told me to bring it to the meeting, so.
Then liquor control account.
Okay, I made many calls and this is still ongoing on this one. I called the state of Michigan and they told me, sorry, let me gather my thoughts. They told me that I was like, yeah, we have an ordinance officer, or not, liquor control enforcement person, and she was like, well, do they get fingerprinted? Do they apply stuff to you? I'm like, well, we're kind of a small community. We only have a few going on. She's like, well, you guys have to be able to do the whole process of if somebody is like getting a permit, you know, or getting a license or something like that. And I'm like, well, we've never had a situation come across us, you know, to know that, you know, I said, obviously we only have a few places.
Nobody ever applies. for it.
Exactly, that's what I said. I'm like, you know, I didn't
I
know
always thought
that,
the
you know.
state was the one in
That's what she
control
told
of
me, it's both sides.
So we're
she-
allowed to issue liquor licenses?
Apparently, we're part of the process. We get to have a hand in the process for that. And I said, well, I said, we really did just have one a little bit ago, you know, with the wine guy. And she said, oh yeah, there's two different types that you have to do, and that's one that they have to get approval from the board. But I want to confirm that with her, because she said that if we do stop doing liquor control, we lose power. You know, so I just want to make sure that if we have another wine situation, that we would still get presented. You know, cause I tried calling her again and it beeped. I tried
So
3 times
what are
calling
you
her
saying?
already.
She said we lose power, like we
Because
would.
we would have no say.
say
is
about
what
We have
she's
no
saying.
say, but she did sound like we would have been in that situation anyways, whether we have liquor control or not, like with Rob. Like he would
Oh, I
have.
bet we would with
Okay,
Rob,
but I want to confirm
because
that,
we had
you
to
know,
approve it.
yes, but I want to confirm that though, that we would have at least some power right there with
And
a
then
new license
If
like
that's the
that.
case, do you need to find out, or is there who,
Is-
somebody has to be in
So-
charge of like,
So she
permitted.
said, well, who would,
Aren't they
take
supposed to
control of
have the
it.
title like constable?
the paper that we sign, I think it does have to have that. I don't know, I'd have to see the paper that.
'Cause
we
is-
then
signed.
technically we shouldn't even be doing
Does any,
that. Because
does
the con-
Tracy or the,
Wayne is,
Wayne-
Wayne is a
He is a
constable. for
constable.
Casco.
okay, he's got a badge number then.
I guess he does.
And
I know,
He was
It's
elected
a
in Casco.
certain way we check.
I know
that
he's
it
a
has-
constable in Casco.
But when we fill out the form, because we just have to check mark something and that's it. I think it just has to be an employee. It doesn't say he has to be a constable. on
But
that
you're
one.
still working on it.
So, and then I called the county because I'm like, oh, she's like, well, if you do drop it, they have to be able to accept it, that they would do it. So I called the county and I said, who does it? And they're like, we don't know. So then I called the health department and they said, no, the state does it for us.
That's what I knew that.
Yeah, see,
I knew
so that's another thing. So I tried calling them back again to see what would happen if the state would just take it, you know, and I couldn't get a hold of them. Their phone just beeped. So, I'll keep trying.
But we don't want to be out of the loop and have no say.
Exactly. And that's the only thing I'm worried about is, you know.
I
if we
hate
got-
when the state takes away local control on stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's just, but yet we haven't had much say, or, you know, not like we've had any situations, but I just wanna make sure, like, if we had a Rob situation, that we would have been able to approve or deny, you know? So, and for the money too, we won't lose the money. We would just keep the money.
Okay.
That's what they said, so. So that's the status so far.
Alright, so still looking into it. So there'll be more to report later.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All right, new business, United Way request. So the guy from the United Way, I think it was, no, it wasn't Thelma, it was a guy. I don't know who he was.
Brent, this is Brent right here.
Oh, Brent Gillette, Executive Director. I knew, I knew he said he had an important name. Anyhow, he called me and said, he wants us to donate our ARPA money to him.
I'll like to make a, no, I'm just joking.
And I told him not interested, and he said, it's not your decision, it's a board decision. So whatever you guys want to do, I'll take a motion.
So would it be a motion to deny or a motion to,
Graciously decline, like Pat would
I'll make
say.
a motion to yeah, I'm just gonna say decline.
The United Way request.
Yeah, the United Way request.
Is there a second?
I'll support.
He also has a line in here that he would like us to each pledge $1,000 a year for 5 years,
Wow.
to all elected officials.
So can I write it as to respectfully decline United Way offer?
Request,
And then how do we go?
Request. Request. Okay, Christie, yes. Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger,
yes.
okay. Next one's really a FYI, it's just,
We did get the money.
you already saw it
Yeah.
in the check register, I think, that it was a deposited.
It was in,
correct?
yeah, the financial report, yeah.
And, but anyhow, they had too much water in their pool, and so they sent some back. Basically, that's how it works. Everybody throws in their money every year, and if they don't have too many claims, they divide up the extra money because they're a nonprofit. So then they send money back. So we got $2,200 back. So it really basically cuts down our insurance cost. Okay, second quarter budget review.
All right. If anybody has like input on this too, if they think there's an adjustment that they feel, because like for the general administration, it's at 80% already, because we did extra things, with the TV and everything, and with having Mike in there. I don't know. I talked to the auditors, because I said, well, I'm trying to see, like, when should we make the adjustment? Obviously we need to make it before the check is cashed. And I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to get that flow going that we do that. And of course, for the drain thing, we approved it and I went to send the check out and I'm like, oh, we didn't do a budget adjustment. So I'm like, why did we do a budget? So I completely forgot. So we need to try to, if you guys can help me, before we make a motion to approve some money, to look at the budget, make sure it's good, right? For big checks like that. And then if we need to do a budget adjustment, maybe right at that time, and most of the time we're fine. But then I said, well, what about, like for BSNA, for the accounting system? I said, we may not be charged till next fiscal year. And he said, don't make an adjustment until you get the bill in your hand. Most likely, he said, it's not, you can do it ahead of time. He said, but that one, if it's between fiscal years, he said, wait till you have the bill in hand. Then you make the
We already
adjustment.
paid them something though.
Not for the accounting
Oh,
system.
no.
I'm saying for the accounting system, because since we're gonna be getting,
Yeah.
Even though we know we have the money coming, we're not supposed to adjust the budget.
because that's what I only told him, I said, what if it's between fiscal years? Because we're getting the training in the month of March, you know? So we know it's gonna be a huge thing. I said, should we make the adjustment now, or should we do it, wait till we get it?
They
And
may
he said,
not bill us till April.
exactly.
Mhm.
You know, so that was one that I'm like, okay, because I'm just trying to, you know, go through this correctly, so. I kind of need just more like input on it, and so we
So I
can, before
see
we
you-
approve checks, to just be like, okay, let's look at the budget, all good, all right. Now we can approve the check, you know, so,
So this one
so that
here,
one,
where
you know,
we-
we do have to make the adjustment for the drain thing,
where we-
and I
we're
completely
taking it
forgot.
from. We have to
You
take
know.
it from someplace.
And he said for this one, he says, I said, well, do we make any type of adjustment? He says, no, you just need to know that when you just add the 171,000, that it's just going from our balance as of the last year. It's going from our what's the word he said, the fund,
Fund balance.
fund balance. He says it's just gonna be going from your fund balance, and just know that you're gonna have less, you're gonna have a less bottom, you know, less number on the bottom. He says, no, just leave that one how it is, just add the amount, and that's all you gotta do.
We don't have to subtract anywhere, we don't have
Nope,
to.
That's what I thought.
He says most of the time, try to do that. He says, but since that one's so large and it was unexpected, he said, just know that it's going from your fund balance. I said, well, do I need to adjust it on the fund balance? No, it will show up automatically. So he said, no. So this
So
is,
do we need to make a motion to adjust that?
this one is an adjustment.
But I mean, do we have to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
what-
for sure.
So
Yeah.
then I'll make a motion that
But is
we,
there any other adjustments that are needed
you want
that
it-
anybody wants?
you want it,
So what,
Well, I looked it over yesterday
Yeah.
and I thought there was a million adjustments that needed to be done. And
And I was,
and I can hand out what I got and we can discuss it. Because I want to go over some stuff and just at least make it make sense to me. Like right at the beginning, this $219,000 can't be part of this budget.
I was gonna ask you, is that the,
that's the AARP because it was deposited in our general fund.
Okay, but we have to move it out of there.
Yeah, we are gonna move it
All right,
out.
so why is it 219 here,
Yeah, why is
but
it
we're putting
219?
210 in?
Oh, there's something else in there then. Oh, probably the garbage is in there, the garbage that we transferred out. You know, for the delinquent settlement tax, was it usually like 8,000 or 9,000, you know?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so this is,
claims us every year?
So
so
there's
this
gonna
is,
be other
but
stuff
we're
in
getting
there.
rid of that.
Yeah.
We're
'cause
taking that
Well, that's
out.
gonna
If
go out of
she
there.
gets that bank
Go to a
account
bank.
set up,
When you set a separate bank account, it will not be part of this budget.
correct?
It will be down on the bottom here as one of our other funds. Correct?
I don't know,
I'm trying to find it.
I don't know for sure.
Well, it'll end up in here.
True, yeah, I can do a transfer and I can do that between the CDs and the savings and the checking accounts, yes. And it will just
So it'll still
show,
be
it
there,
will fluctuate,
just-
yes.
just like garbage accounts here, right? One of
No,
these,
no,
all
garbage isn't there.
right, so every one of these,
Those are just the CDs and the savings. Those are the only ones that are connected to the general fund. So yes, I would, I could.
these are the
move that
only
out.
ones connected to the general fund.
Mhm.
So none of them are connected to any, the other accounts, the liquor account?
No,
the
those
park
are
account?
separate, those are separate companies. And then we actually talked to BSNA about that too. And that's how you have them as separate companies besides. the
Okay, so
general
then
fund.
it's totally gonna come off of this whole thing
It should,
and go away.
hopefully. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I'll figure that out. Yeah, I think it's just a transfer and that should be fine of how I do it in the computer.
okay, so I got marks in here of these pink marks where we're already way out of kilter. And I'm trying to figure out taking money from here and taking money from there and taking money from here
Mhm.
to try and fix it. You know, and like right now, we're already short $10,623. And
where?
well, because like this,
Oh, you mean?
Like, you wanna go section by section?
well, yeah, let's,
No.
all right. Then let's start out right here at assessor. Computer services.
You're not doing this page right here?
Well, these are just the monies I'm taking out to pay for.
Oh,
this.
okay, sorry.
So we can
So
go
you're
back
through
to
the
them.
thing, okay.
We can go back to them if we want,
Okay.
but I'll explain what I figured out because I don't think I'm off base, but you know, tell me if I'm wrong.
No, no.
All right, so computer services, 3009.55.
So you want to add 2,000?
Well, we only budgeted 1,500.
Mhm.
So we gotta put 2,000 more in there to make up for it. So I took it from down here at equipment and moved it up. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then
So
the
move
next
that
one,
up, okay.
and then the
Okay.
next one, the clerk has where is it, miscellaneous of 2848,
What
but
would
we
that-
only budgeted
what would that
$100.
be?
That was your bond.
Oh,
So then,
So hold on. So for that one right there.
so then I took some from two different areas and put it there, the 1,700 and the 1,000. Okay, to cover that
you took it from the equipment and from,
from meetings.
Oh, you took it from meetings.
I did. So then here in general administration, we're already 2,465 short. And then postage, we've already spent $134 too much.
This one, the board of reviews are right account. They had to post it for the
board of
For the
review.
March board of review.
They have to
right?
post it in the paper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
March
then it
board of
would've been
review has to
done.
go.
And then
through the-
computer
okay.
services were $8,000 short. So then you move on to later in administrative services. This miscellaneous, we're almost spent out on that one. And I don't understand what miscellaneous was. That's why I just saved that one because I don't
That
understand.
one's gonna be part of it. It's gonna be garbage.
Okay,
That's why, you know, that it's like we just have to.
so
that's
then
why it's bigger.
under treasurer, under miscellaneous, there's 1465
And
already.
that's gonna be the bonds.
So I took some money from up higher and down lower there.
But the only thing
equipment
is
and-
with these, I mean, I understand.
Well, I'm just trying to fix them is what I'm saying.
And yeah,
And so I'm just explaining it. And then you guys decide what, but
Can you go back for a second?
go back to where?
The 250 dash, is it 956? The miscellaneous? Did you say that was garbage?
we had to write no, for the 956, we had to write the check out. We had to have it in and we had to write the check out for the garbage, for the delinquent tax.
Oh, that's the.
Yeah, we had to put it to some account, you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that between every meeting now.
Yeah. I didn't ask because I finally remembered after all these years.
We had to put it somewhere, you know,
Okay, and
so.
And then Township Hall. What is salary and wages in Township Hall?
Bob,
Bob,
Bob. All right, so there's money left in there to still keep that going. But then contractual, we're already over $237 and we got 6 months to go. So we got to do something there,
who's under the contractual usually?
but I didn't fix that one.
Yeah.
But we got to do something.
that's
Would you put
Stafford.
Stafford under there or would you put that under maintenance?
I thought it.
Then under
I don't know, we'll have to
cemetery.
look at that.
Under cemetery, we've already spent $4,900. So we're already 3,400 in the hole. So I moved this $5,000 up from improvements because I'm assuming there's going to be some more graves. And then the roads, we only have 64,275 left. So I was taking 20,000 out of there, leaving us at 44,275. And then I took everyone where I took some money out that I didn't put an arrow and direct it to pay for. Then I'm adding that all into general administration. So that it would end up moving 36,450 into general admin. It would square all those accounts. And I think it would carry us through all the way till March on what we're paying for through general admin. And that, I think that would square us on the whole budget, be back in the pink.
And that's why I kind of looked at it, I was like, whoa, I'm just gonna wait for the board and see what they say, you know, with the adjustments, because I just like for you guys to be more involved in it, you know, of what we want to do, you know, so.
Cause I was queasy last month when I was like,
Yeah, I know.
we're spending all this money, but how are we paying for
Yeah.
this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I went through it and figured out, I think that's how we should pay for
So
it.
I understand you're taking it from meetings. But what if the board approves me for meetings later, then there's not gonna be anything budgeted. I just wanna make sure that but I know there's gonna be some money in that account, but it just looked like you
I
put
guess
all the meetings.
I did,
so.
I took all of our.
I know that's still an
meeting
iffy
money.
subject, but,
I did take it all. And I guess. I don't know, we'd have to see what the budget looks like at the time. Hopefully at the end of the third quarter, things will,
How many meetings have people gone to?
I don't know.
I've gone to
I just-
one. That's one treasurer.
I've only gone to a few. There hasn't been that many, like the clerks meetings.
Yeah.
I don't know if I went to anything
I didn't go
else.
to that
Oh, I
one.
had to go to that one for the,
Shouldn't be that big a deal.
So I just wanna make sure we're not like, nothing's budgeted,
That's what I thought.
know-
Initially, we should have asked for approval before we go to a meeting. Then we wouldn't have to ask at the end and then have somebody say, sorry, no pay. I do have a question on clerk, deputy clerk. So this is from April through October,
Yes,
so
Yep.
that's 7 months.
yes, 6 months.
it's 6 months and then I do what's on the check register, what's included in this check register.
Am I reading that right? She's only made $1,700 in 6
Yep.
months?
So I left
I told you,
$1,700.
she's only coming in
Like
probably
once
one day a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I left
Well, her paycheck
1,700 too.
October, the one
Oh,
we just
because
approved
she
is
does election
440.
stuff. She does election.
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
a
it's
lot of the
under
time.
most
So
of the
it's
stuff.
split between multiple
Yeah,
places.
well, just this in elections. She does more in elections. I was having so much trouble with my computer with the election stuff. I had to have her do most of it. Finally got it
Addison does mostly
corrected.
election stuff
Yeah.
at the township.
Yeah.
What's it under in elections then? Salary and wages?
Yes, I just think so. Yeah,
So there's no way to break out who gets paid that salary and wages. It's just all one
I mean,
department.
you can break it up, like, when I click on it, you'd see all the checks made there, but this is the summarized version for the budget. Cause then we'd be seeing 20 pages, so.
And this is, I'm looking at this where he put here the miscellaneous under ZBA. That's gotta be posted. And I don't know why we don't have a postage there. And there should have been something under printing and publishing. Wasn't there a
Have we
ZBA?
had any ZBA?
Oh, maybe we
since-
haven't since April.
since April?
There hasn't been any meetings, only one this year, right?
Was
That
that one
was
in
before.
April or was it before April?
I don't remember.
I think it
I'll
was
look back.
definitely,
Yeah, because
In that
that,
area.
I feel
I don't
like
remember, but I think there's only been one
there's only
meeting.
been the one. But I think we should have a
Is that
postage.
the wine guy?
No.
He went to ZBA, didn't he?
Oh, it was the
Yeah,
wine guy.
yeah.
Wine guy.
It was the wine guy.
No, then he did come after because he came to that May planning commission meeting because I was here for the election.
Okay, but I didn't touch their salary.
Well, I know, I'm not talking salary. I'm talking, I should have had something in there for printing and publishing.
Well, okay, well, the $8 there,
That's posted.
so I moved up some of that printing and publishing just to make it work right.
Yeah.
Because everything's gotta balance right. So those are the changes I would suggest we make.
no, I'm okay. The only thing I was worried about was the meeting part of that, otherwise, no, that's perfectly fine. If we approve this, if I have questions, I'll let you know for sure, because
Sure.
I know, like, sorry, I'm like.
So if we
"What?"
approve this, how are we putting this into the minutes? All the corrections?
We just have to say, we could even.
I'll leave one of these attached and then I
Yeah, we
don't
could
have to
just
write
do
it all
that,
out.
if you want, yeah,
Yeah,
because that is a lot of movement around.
yeah. Because normally we go from this account to this account, but this is a lot.
And if we do that, I think this should be something everyone signs, that we're all in agreement, assuming we pass it.
And I know the whole point of it is to make sure it's good for next year too, to have something to go off of. I know we go off of what we did do sometimes, and that's why we change it sometimes, but it'd be nice to have it budgeted correctly too.
Yes.
Per account, so we know how we.
Because otherwise we're be lost trying to do another budget.
We're lost most of the time.
So do I get a motion on this?
So you didn't want to move any money up to the contractual?
I
for this
did,
one? Oh, you,
I did, I fixed it. This needs to be fixed so that this one only reads 64,000. Right? So then you take 20 away, then it's only gonna read 44,000.
but you didn't want to move any up to this one right here. I'm saying, because this one's over budget, because
Yeah.
just how you were doing it.
Yeah,
That's probably-
you gotta take it out of the 107.
Oh, you're taking the 43 out of that line, and putting it to that one?
Yeah, and then that leaves you
Okay.
64,
Okay.
right? So you fix this one,
So you're fixing that one, and then you're taking 20 more
yes,
out, okay,
so you end up at 44.
got it. All right, I'll just be asking more questions later, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget, with Bruce's correction. However, that one's easy to read.
Oh, can you make sure you cross off that, or in the board of review, the wrong account? Because that is the right account.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
she told me last month it was the wrong account. That's why I wrote that.
Oh,
Let me cross it off if it's the right account.
it is the right account.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
So to approve budget adjustments presented by supervisor and treasurer, right?
Correct.
If you guys want, I can be giving you guys a budget with my financial report, like every meeting, if you guys want, you know. Would you guys want that?
I
You
would
know?
like it. I keep
Sure.
You know,
track
just
of
to
it.
kind of, it would be, cause I'm just trying to get the right flow correctly of, oh, look, we have a road ditch. Okay, check our budget. Okay, we're good. Now we can, you know, I'd like to just get the right, you know, the right way
Right.
to do it. You know, so I can start doing that.
So when you make these corrections.
You'll send it to everybody
Yeah,
when
I'm
it's
gonna say,
corrected,
when
right?
you're gonna
Yeah,
send
if
it
you want me to,
corrected,
yeah.
That would be good.
and I put
Email
one
it
of
to
those.
everybody.
You would know it next month too, if I give you
Oh,
a
if
copy
you
of the
just-
budget,
okay,
you know,
okay, that's fine
so, you know.
So we're gonna just put this in with the minutes and then next month you'll bring. the
I'll just be
corrected
bringing a
ones.
budget, yeah,
Okay, I
I'll
just
show the
wanna have it
expenses
so
plus
it's
the
in- okay,
adjustments.
I just
too.
wanna have it so it's
Okay.
in here. Okay, did anybody support?
I'll support.
Okay, Berenger,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan, Gilman,
Yes.
carried.
We'll do the quarterly budget then. Is that cool, or you guys want to still look at it quarterly?
Well,
If we're looking at it
Yeah.
constantly, I'll just
if we-
quarterly do the CDs and savings like I have been doing then.
So if we're
Okay.
looking at it every month,
Then there's really no reason.
then quarterly, we should just make our adjustments, correct?
No, we have to make our adjustments every time.
Every month?
Every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, that's
Yeah.
fine too. All right,
Sign those.
Oh, are we signing yours?
yeah, Brett will make,
He's not his
He'll
job
make
description.
copies.
Move the copier in here.
here. You don't have to initial every page.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It'll work. Nice try.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, they got it going this way now.
I'm just not. I'd go high. Oh, there you go.
You'll go make some copies, sir?
Yeah, just that page, or you want the whole thing?
Yeah, do that page. Kinda,
I don't care
You know,
either way.
this is a signature one, you know.
Whatever you think.
I mean, does everybody want them or just?
I want just the
The sign page is the important one.
yeah. Movies. I'm glad you looked at it, because when I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know what they want to do. I'm like, I'm just gonna let them look at it. So I'm glad you
Yeah, I just,
figured out.
I think it's better when it's all squared away.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes, sir.
while we're waiting for a permit, you referred to advice from an attorney. Could I ask you what that costs the township for that advice?
From the MMRA, are you saying the insurance attorney?
The issue-
From earlier,
Yes.
nothing. I talked to MTA, I talked to 2 attorneys, and I talked
To us.
oh, and a third one, I talked to the employment attorney too. But 2 regular attorneys, then employment attorney and the MTA and the MMRMA.
Right, not to be offensive, but first year law students would have gave you that same advice.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I was,
would have gave you that same advice.
I was just trying to do
Yeah,
What-
I understand.
what I needed to, I guess.
Wait, this one?
All right,
So.
need a motion on collecting taxes for Memphis schools.
Hold on, for building, are we okay with building?
I thought the rest were
Oh.
all.
Is everybody
There
okay?
wasn't-
Yeah, so you guys.
I'm sorry, there wasn't,
No,
I,
it is high, it's gonna be high.
I had one question on building, let me just see what it was.
You know, look at how much income we've already brought in, you know, just
Oh.
from being halfway through, you know.
Okay, we brought in, yeah, we brought in a lot of income, but then we were off on the computer services.
Yes, of course.
And then we're off on transportation already, so I didn't make the adjustment there,
Okay.
but I think that we're bringing in extra money. Maybe we should
Raise up,
adjust that budget,
raise up, then.
you know?
Okay,
Like the computer service one, what's that gonna change to? I mean,
are we expecting any more bills from BSNA?
I wouldn't think so.
Because we keep
I
getting
think
them,
we're,
it seems.
I think we're good on that.
Okay,
But the transportation's gonna go up. So,
so let's raise, computer services just up 5,000.
okay,
You're gonna have
in
to.
the
raise-
center one, right? The one that says budget,
Pardon?
right here,
Yes, in the budget line, yes.
change it to 5,000?
Or add 5,000,
Or
or
add-
you want to change it to 5,000,
Well, let's just add
add
5,000.
5,000, okay, and then for transportation, how much you guys think? There's already 1,000, so you think,
So maybe another 1,000? Is that gonna be enough?
I don't,
1,500
let's add 2,000.
All right.
Doesn't hurt, so let's add 2,
plus 2,000,
all right.
because
and
there's
then-
gonna be more
And
transportation.
then we can add for the income, we
We're
can
gonna
add
have
it
to add
for,
salary.
oh yeah, we could do salary then.
We have to add salary. You're already at 92%.
Oh.
So we can add 10,000?
Yeah, that'll definitely help.
All right, so 10 and a 5 and a 2, okay, and then for the permits. let's see. So we got 17,000 to work with. So maybe add 5 to building,
Building permits,
yeah, add 5,
so we've done 13 in 6 months. Yeah, we'll do it easy another 5, don't you think?
yeah, well, we gotta split up 17 between these accounts to make them counteract
I would
each
do
other.
more for building than,
So let's do 5 for building
I would
maybe,
do more.
Wait a second,
more,
maybe
Oh.
let's do 7 for building.
Yeah,
Seven.
because you're
And
gonna,
let's do 5 for electrical, right?
well, we also have to put some in,
And then that's 12.
you said 5 for
Yeah.
electrical, okay.
And then we'll put
2 in heat, maybe? Or 3,
I was thinking 3.
3,
And then 2 for the next one.
okay,
I would do it the other way around. We seem to do more plumbing than mechanical.
but look how close the budget is for heating, there's only 200
Okay.
left. So
What ab-
7,531.
What about this admin fee? Is that gonna change anything?
Well, that's gonna be $75, I guess we could always look at that later too,
Okay.
you know, especially since we're looking at it each month, at least this kind of starts us somewhere, you know,
Okay.
and it's not like we're over budget or anything, you know, on it, we're just trying to make it more up to date.
Yeah, so that's 17, that'll
Okay,
work.
all right, cool.
So then what, to make budget adjustments. Okay, so will that cover for that motion we made cover for both of them? Or you want,
If you
Oh, I
guys are
think-
comfortable with it.
Yeah,
are you cool with it?
Okay,
All right.
we don't need to do any others that I know of.
I
Yeah,
know, I didn't
Yeah.
find any other
yeah,
issue.
all the other ones are usually fine. All right, cool.
All right, now, motion to pay or to collect the summer tax for Memphis.
I'll make a motion to collect the summer.
Do they send that every year or every?
Yeah,
Yep.
they have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're on it now, because that one time, remember, they forgot, so now they're like super early, you know? Get it over with. You made the motion, Angie?
Yep,
Who
I'll
second?
make a motion to,
Who second?
I made the motion.
oh, okay, I'll second.
So
Okay,
this is
Keelman,
22.
Dudek,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Duncan,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes,
carried. Next, garbage fee. I talked to Jill today. She said, oh, we almost got the contract ready, should be going out pretty soon. I said, well, we gotta have time to haggle and stuff before we sign it, so. She said, if you need to come up with a fee right now, and I know taxes gotta go out pretty soon. She said, figure 10%.
Higher?
Yeah, 10% increase. And then you'll be safe. And she said you might end up with too much money out of it.
But
because
that's
it
like
won't-
charging people that, you know, I
Well,
mean, that's,
But we don't have to make that decision today. We
Yeah.
can wait for her to get the information and do it next month.
yes,
That will still give you time.
yes.
But if you need to make that decision today, she said count on 10%. That way it'll actually be less than 10% and you'll be covered.
I mean, I'm fine with no motion being made. I just wanted to
Is this-
show a little bit of it, you know, like the nitty gritty part of it. And then all I have to do is put in that number times
is that
12, you
91
know.
cents is gonna stay that? Is that where you're, or you do?
That's,
or do you
so
use
far,
for
unless
November?
somebody finishes a house or somebody knocks
No,
down
no.
a house.
So we're charging 91.
But the fuel surcharge,
Yes.
you're only going till the end of October.
Yes, so that is
November's
all
gonna go
good.
on the next
The only
year.
thing that could change is the parcel
Okay.
count possibly, you know, so that's the only thing.
So 91 cents per parcel
That's-
per year
Yeah,
or
Add,
per
that's
month.
no, per year.
per year. That's added onto the,
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
so it's added onto whatever, you know, fee they
Okay.
look at.
When's the police management contract?
December 31st.
This year, though.
Yes,
Were you gonna put it out for other bids or are you gonna ride?
I did. I did put it out. I got a bid from Marcotte so far. And what's that other one?
Jeffs.
GFL,
Tara?
Jeff said they don't have the manpower to handle it. That they're having trouble hiring people.
And Tara's usually.
Yeah,
M-Terra.
yeah.
M-Terra sent me this weird email. I don't even know what it means. He wrote 2 tons. I'm like, what does that mean? I asked him for a price. He just wrote back 2 tons.
So 4,000?
what currency?
For garbage, are we able to get it where, if we're bidding it out, that we can have recyclable stuff right at the house?
Oh, we can get a bid, but it costs more for recycling than it even costs for pickup.
I think the last time we checked, they wanted like $40
So-
a month per house.
Yeah, we thought it was the whole year.
We thought it was
Like, no,
the
it's a
year.
month.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
year.
exorbitant.
Yeah.
And then they stood right here and told us, on the months we don't have enough to take down to Detroit, we're just gonna put it in a landfill anyhow.
Mhm.
And I'm like, whoa,
Yeah, they told it to us, so all like, nope.
what's the whole point then?
We all heard that.
Well, while you're bidding it though, can you just ask them, maybe it's changed now that so many other people do it now?
We can ask,
Cause it's been a while.
we can always ask. So do we not wanna make anything
No,
on
that's
this right now?
just, you
So
know,
we'll get more
that's just
info
what it is
next
so
month.
far, so, yeah.
So I'm just gonna write more info next month.
Yep, yeah.
And I will, when Jill writes me back about picking up the dump or the trash at the park, I will make sure that I bring that up again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, violation notices. There's some issue. I've been getting all kind of calls from people about that pools that they built years ago. And now they're getting letters that saying they're in violation. And one is, I wish somebody would have said something to me, so I could be ready to take those calls.
Well, I asked that question too, because Justin one day had Mike's whole desk covered with envelopes. I don't think Mike was Mike already
It
gone on
was
vacation?
recently.
Mike don't
Yeah.
know about it.
Yeah, and I asked him yesterday, I said, what were all those envelopes you were doing? And he said, oh, they were all pools that were up that Bob said no permit was pulled.
So I guess the question is, if you know, did people pull permits and then never final them out?
We don't know.
Or is he just out driving around looking for?
Well, I don't know. I
No,
don't have.
I know
any
the one
idea.
for sure, never pulled a permit. Didn't know they had to have one. And then received an interesting stop work order from a pool that was installed 3 years ago.
See, and I feel like that's almost unfair to those people.
Well, it
because if
is,
they
because-
Yeah,
When Dave Hilgendorf was here, he told me that stuff is
water under the bridge.
water under the bridge.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about
I
it.
remember,
Because when I put up my addition on my house, he came around and made sure that the electrical guy did his sticker and the plumbing guy did his sticker and all that. And then I took him on the other side and said, well, I don't got no stickers at all on these electrical boxes. He said, I don't care about them. That's old stuff.
and the reason I thought that too is because years ago when Diane Cooper was on Board of Review and somebody came and she came up to the counter after and said, oh, so-and-so did this and this, and did they pull permits? And whoever was there at the time said, we don't go back. We're moving forward. You can't retroactively go back to somebody that.
Because my thought, and I have to agree with the customer, or I'm sorry, the residents I was
Yeah.
talking to. And I mean, I got bombarded with calls. the
I'm
other
sure
day.
you did.
And,
That was on the letter too. Please call.
yeah, but it was. So my thought was the exact same as their thought is, oh, if I'm gonna drive around this township, I'm gonna write you about all these people with all this blight.
I don't know.
And all
how
these
we got
people
the
with
letter.
10
I mean,
cars in
that
their
would
yard.
be, that
And all
would
these
be.
people that put on
an
lean-tos
endless
and turn
job
them into
just going-
sheds.
Yeah, it would be.
Do you know how much, you could come up with hundreds?
Right,
It's-
we got
I know,
bigger fish to
because
fry.
I drove down one road one day and I thought, I don't know if those people, they had a deck and I thought, I don't know if they ever pulled a permit, but you just can't do.
Well, so he had to do a lot of legwork to know that though.
I know
So he would have
that,
had to go find the pools, even if he did like a Google search and like mapped and
I
looked
don't
for
know.
people with pools,
was
then he'd
there
have to look
any
up the address.
situation that he would have
Then
been
he'd
there
have to find out if
already?
they had a permit,
Because I
I
know
don't-
and then
that,
he accused him of
I
having
know one
electrical.
situation is when he went to, was it Rob's, the winery guy? And he said, no, you have to get a permit for the pool or something. I remember he said.
No,
when
I
brought
remember
to a
he went
situation-
one lady was doing that deck.
Okay, and when he was brought there, he said, oh, you need to do it, so
But-
that's the only time I've heard of
So-
it,
I don't.
Otherwise,
know.
I don't know where he got this list.
Yeah, we don't
weren't
know.
in the
No,
conversation.
but I-
So,
Who authorized him to do it then?
Who did it?
I don't,
Justin.
Justin did it.
No,
I don't
Justin
know.
wrote the
But Justin
Justin
was
wrote
doing
the
what he's
letters.
told,
And mailed
but it was the electrical inspector that told him to, is my understanding. Is that what you heard?
That's kind of the impression I got when he told.
That's
me.
what I heard. It was the electrical
Yeah.
inspector that
Yeah, I don't know
said
where
to
he
do it.
got the list.
But I guess
What was the liability issue with it?
the liability was that I was told, Tony said I was wrong. But, and for all I know I was, but I was just told that it's a safety issue because if there's not a gate and the little kid falls in that pool and drowns, we would get sued. Or if somebody got electrocuted because it wasn't wired right, we would get sued.
Then that would
And
be
so
the
that-
case
The
for
homeowner's
every
insurance.
illegal
The
thing
problem-
anybody's ever done.
The problem is you
No.
get pools so easily
And I-
now too, those.
Well, and that's what I said. I said anybody
I
could go to
got one.
Meyer.
No, I mean, like-
I said anybody could go to Meyer and buy a pool and put it up the same day.
Exactly.
I can build a barn, tell you I got a barn, and then I can run electric out to it, electrocute myself and then to the township.
Yeah,
That's
a
not
lot of people have barns without
That's the homeowner's
electricity, and what if they, what did Tony say is wrong, that you were wrong about?
The gate part.
Oh, he just said,
Roland, Roland said.
Tony
the
said
township
you
could
could?
be-
Tony said we can't.
Oh, Tony said you can't, okay, well, he's an electrician.
But I did
would
hear
say
about
he
the
would-
gate, like they do need
Yeah.
a gate.
And you know, he may
when
be
they
right, but
Pull one, when they pull a
Yeah.
permit, but.
I don't know,
the reasoning
There's no-
doesn't even
I
matter to
guess,
me about
yeah.
why they're doing it. It's,
and does Justin have a list, did you talk to Justin?
he said there were 6 letters that went
Oh,
out.
there was more than that.
I thought there was
on
10.
There's a
I thought he, I heard 10.
Cause he said, oh, I'm sending out a lot of letters today.
Oh, well, maybe he got more since I talked to him. When I brought it up, he said he had 6. But,
So who talks to the electrical inspector to find
Why
out?
does the letter say call Bruce if you don't know about it?
Oh, I don't know if it,
Katie
that was a
was
joke.
joking.
That was a joke.
but
Yeah, I guess maybe that's.
So I think probably where the township would be held responsible was if there was an electrical permit pulled and it was signed off, that
Yeah.
yes.
Or
it
you
was
approve
safe, and then really it was never done.
Yeah, like if you pulled a pool permit and then never
Right.
fined it,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, then you're on the hook. But if we
Yeah.
never knew it was there, you can't be held
Exactly.
responsible for something you didn't know happened.
Yeah.
and,
So I
and
don't understand how he thought he could just arbitrarily write letters for the township and have Justin mail them out, threatening them that they need to stop or pay a ticket or go to court. I
well,
mean,
Roland's on board with it too. Because I talked to him too. He's on board with it too.
Roland gets on board with a lot of stuff.
But my thought was that, if he is feeling it bothering his conscience or something because they don't do it right, then, maybe he can go tell them how to do it right. But I don't think there should be a
How
penalty
much
for
time did
it.
he spend looking for him?
I don't know where.
I don't think,
I have no.
I mean, how much
I have no-
time you would have to spend?
well, if you're just out driving around.
You write down every pool and every address, then you gotta come back here and you gotta go through every permit to find out if they
'Cause
have a
wouldn't it-
permit.
I would think there's
You
hundreds
wouldn't,
of
you wouldn't
pools.
even be able to do that.
That's what I mean.
because
How would
have
you
to
know?
go through years and years of permits.
And that's what I was saying, what if he was there or like behind
wasn't.
there doing a permit,
It's
inspection?
3 years
you know?
ago.
And what about these secluded homes that you don't even know what's behind the house?
The one that called me, that pool was put in 3 years ago. There's no way he suddenly showed up and realized there was a pool there and knew it didn't have a permit. There's no way. When we've got other electrical problems with people putting stuff in that shouldn't be putting stuff in, we should be worried about them, not the people that are, who cares about a pool.
Especially nowadays, back then, you could barely get a pool, now you can get one.
Yeah.
And I-
all the time.
and like I said, I can-
Right.
You
I can
get-
totally understand, giving them the information of what needs to be done to correct the issue, but I don't think that there ought to be any penalizing.
And then another letter should be sent out that says,
What did the letter say? Did anybody
I
see it?
I don't know.
You have one?
I don't know.
Oh, I think he does.
And depending on the pool, if it's not an in-ground pool, it's a temporary, it's considered temporary, you won't have to have a permit for it.
Well, I don't know that's true.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah, there is a whole
But to
thing
me, for
about pools.
It's just.
I had, it was essentially like a stop work order. And it said, if you don't stop your work order or whatever, if you don't come into the township hall within 10 days, 7 days, then you were getting a ticket and they'll take you to court. So any regular person that follows the rules, they're freaking out because they think they've done something wrong and that we're out to get them.
I have a question on permits while he's looking that up. So what if, and none of you were on the board when my house had some permits pulled and said some work was done to it. And it was signed off by inspectors, but the work was never done. So who's liable for
So
No idea.
that? If your inspectors for the township that work for the township said that they came out and inspected it, said it was done, and it was never done.
Well, I guess if the
I hate to
homeowner
say that,
told
but-
on himself, I guess the building inspector might be in some kind of hot water. But that, I don't know that for sure. I mean, that would be a legal question, really.
yeah, I guess dicey, I got a funny feeling it falls back on the township. Somehow eventually down the road it does. So let it be known that on this date, building construction at the address listed above is in violation of the Michigan Building Code. Building and electrical permits are required by law for the installation of pools. In addition to obtaining the required permits, you must ensure that the pool is in compliance with all safety protocols established in the Michigan Residential Code. 2015 MRC 15 and International Swimming Pool and Spa Code. You are requested to contact Columbus Township offices within 10 days of this notice to comply or show cause why a stop work order should not be issued. Failure to do so will be the issuance of a ticket, and this is all in bold, ticket for court appearance, all bold and underlined. Signed, Roland Seuss.
See, I told you he was on board with it.
See, and Roland shouldn't have really.
They're sticking their nose in stuff they don't belong in.
Should it
But
have been Bob?
when is the line drawn for them to red tag something and not, you know what I mean? Cause they red tag stuff, you know, the. stuff where-
Absolutely,
You know, so
red
where's.
tag something you pulled a permit on. You
but what
can't
if they
walk
didn't
out
pull
and
a
just,
permit? What if they didn't pull a permit?
what if it was
You know?
built 10 years ago?
Or what if it was like in the process? I'm just saying, like, where's the line drawn, you know, like,
She got a point there.
you know?
If somebody put a barn up and you just happen to notice, wow, there's a new barn here. I mean,
Actually, that did happen at one time.
10
Where-
years
what are-
ago,
So
did they pull a
our
permit for
building
You may not.
officials are supposed to go out and look for things?
well, I don't think they're supposed to go out and
They
look.
don't
You
look.
can't tell me you didn't look for these.
Well,
You
I
can't send out
I have
18
no
letters.
idea how, yeah.
For pools.
It sounds like he went out looking for it,
Oh,
But
yeah.
he doesn't look around here, so why would he?
but I don't understand, I don't
Well, if
understand
he
his
didn't do it, somebody
motivation.
gave it to him.
I don't understand the motivation.
Yeah.
And who instigated this? Bob?
Why wouldn't Bob sign a letter if he's the one that sent them?
But I don't know, Roland wouldn't have had that list.
Was
So
it-
I don't know where Justin got that. list
From
from.
Bob, he
From
said,
Bob.
he told me it was from Bob.
Financially driven, why those two guys were in agreement with it because they know they're gonna get permit money out of it?
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
double after the fact. But 10 years ago was the ordinance that you had to have a permit for a pool? Was there one?
I have no
And
idea.
this is all a gray area because now you're talking how,
So
How do we
how should we
know? How-
proceed, mister?
I don't know. Personally, unless somebody has made like a ordinance violation,
And I-
unless somebody's made
I
a
mean, it's
complaint
like the one that was.
that we're investigating
And
as
I
a
thought
board.
we had already decided that a long time ago.
Well, that's what I
That we
thought.
don't investigate stuff unless there's been a complaint.
Apparently,
There was
we got
that
some Cowboys going.
There was a complaint about that house on my road. They were putting an in-ground pool in and I must have driven by 10 times and not noticed it, but somebody made a complaint and so I made a point of going that way and yeah, they were digging the hole. So when whoever, they left a message on my phone. They didn't write one up, but I told Tracy, I said they left that message and he went out there and he did a stop work order. That guy was in the same day and pulled the permit. In that case, yeah, you do a stop work order because it was in the process.
In the process.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
Especially
I
on
don't know
pools.
directly.
Uh,
Yeah, I understand for pools,
pool,
but for other
sheds.
stuff, I don't.
The shed's up. What are you gonna do now? Take the shed down? You know, a 10 by 10 shed, who cares?
Yeah, I
Well, they
don't,
don't have to
10
pull
by
a
10
permit,
doesn't even
yeah.
need a permit.
and I don't think,
I don't think anybody that put a pool in 3 years ago thought it needed a permit either, but
And that's,
Getting them now.
We're getting-
and to Diane's point, I guess we could look in the old code books. How far back, when did that become part of the Michigan code?
did anybody come in to pay? Or to pull a permit for the
Not
letter?
that I know of,
Not that I know
but see,
of.
Justin would have
It's
talked to
been
them,
pretty
so we don't
quiet. I
know.
didn't hear anybody yelling or complaining
Yeah.
about anything that I know of, so.
But he just mentioned it to us yesterday. Because
They'll
he
come in
just,
and say,
because when he
let's go
said it
crazy.
last week, I didn't really pay attention to what he was doing.
I don't understand that it would go anywhere because we can't even get a judge to stop.
And you're
Anything.
probably right.
Do you
You're
think
gonna
like
say-
anything that they like red tag or send a violation notice, like maybe just run it by Bruce first? And then,
I
you
think,
know, or
I
something just
think
so that
first of all, the
there's.
first thing we need to do on this one is something needs to be addressed with the ones that were sent out. And we need to send something to the residents that says, for you to be in compliance with the whatever building codes and everything else, you will have to come in to get your permit. And This serves as your notice, so you're in compliance. And if they don't come in, then it's back on their. Takes it off of us, puts it back on them, we're done. And then going forward, we gotta have something set up where it's not Wild Wild West and they can go do whatever they want.
I could see if it was current installations, but
Yeah, if you see somebody throwing a pool in and you know that you're the building guy and you realize they don't have a permit, well then, yeah, that makes total sense. I get it. 5 years ago or something, whatever.
but I'm betting 95% of them that have been put up in the township never had
I would
permits.
bet most of them don't have a permit.
I would agree.
So I'll
I
make
would
a,
think most people wouldn't even think that.
to start, I'll make a motion that, whoever in the building department, Justin, I guess,
Just say building department.
building department sends a letter out to the same people that they sent the violations to.
Are those violation letters or stop work letters? What does
They're,
it say?
they're just threats at this point.
Yeah, that's just like.
Send
Send letter
to
to,
residents who received,
I don't know, it's a written notice.
who received a written notice regarding pools. Okay, no, what,
so building department send a letter to residents who received a written notice.
regarding pools. To clarify, to,
Rules that, to be in compliance,
to notify them,
yeah, to be in compliance with the Michigan Building Code. Building and electrical permits are required by law for the installation of pools.
Say it one more time.
yeah,
Back,
that- to be in
back.
compliance, to be in
The Michigan
compliance.
Building Code, building and electrical permits are required by law. For the installation of pool. I'm taking it off his letter.
And then Bruce, please call Bruce.
Yeah, I want that part.
I know, right? Put in the motion.
Make it a cell phone.
I know.
Yeah, and then if, I don't know what you want to put at the end, but then if they come back in and they pull a permit, fantastic. You're off and running and we're all compliant. If they don't, we warned them and it's back off our plate again.
So we don't need to say, you know, what their, what might happen, like your insurance might not cover you or something. We don't have to care about that, right?
Sure,
No.
covers them anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So building department sent a letter to residents who received written notice regarding pools to be in compliance with Michigan Building Code, building permits and electrical permits are required. Is that right?
Yeah, are required by law for the installation of pools.
okay. Building departments send letters to residents who received a written notice regarding pools to notify them that to be in compliance with Michigan Building Code, building and electrical permits are required by law for the installation of pools. Yeah,
That's how it reads.
okay.
Yep.
Second,
I'll support.
okay, Christie, yes. Duncan?
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes,
Berenger,
Yes,
Gilman,
Yes.
okay. So now, what about addressing
Other violations
Future.
Yeah,
that they find, I think they should be brought in. It's just like a ordinance violation, right? They should come, bring them in, there should be a complaint, whether it, maybe they make it. And then they should go to.
so
you and say, "These are the
violations
ones I
should only
have."
be followed up by when there is a written complaint.
Yeah, or even if they make the written complaint, at least,
I'm gonna say that sometimes it's just. them
like if
making
Bob
it.
makes the written
you know.
complaint,
Okay.
then there's a
Okay,
paper trail for it, because how do you know who made the complaint?
see, because that's funny, because Roland knows that's the rule already. Because sometimes he writes a complaint, doesn't he?
On
For
buildings?
building?
Yeah, when
Not for, I never
I've
known it
never
for
seen him
building.
write a
Really? Like when somebody built a barn that he just noticed was there?
I mean, he hasn't like, did like a. I mean,
At one
would
time, he
send a
noticed
letter
somebody
to them,
built
but
a.
No, but he filled out a complaint form before. I know he has.
I think that's,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It helps to eliminate the, anybody going off the reservation and trying to go off.
So should we?
Well, and it just doesn't look like we're picking on people, you know, there's checks and balances, you know, and.
I just can't understand how you figured out
I
if they
guess
had
we
permits
need
or not.
Yeah,
So are we going to? I thought we voted on this years ago, but I mean, you want to vote on it again?
But it's separate from ordinance, it's
Yeah.
building, you know.
yeah,
The
yeah, the one
building,
we voted on was ordinance
just ordinance
complaints.
related and.
Yeah.
you know.
So we're gonna say building violations. I don't even know how to put that. because-
See, but if it's a building violation, people will call and complain to Tracy. Because like some lady called and was complaining about somebody building next door to her, something they were doing, and they talked to Tracy about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we make them all funnel through Tracy. And then he can do the legwork, right? Get the paperwork all drawn up. And then you'll know if he's working on something at least. Violations and what
Because
he's doing.
He actually called here and.
He does enter them
went.
into
He went and
BSNA.
checked that,
Well, I know,
When he gets a complaint, he enters them into BSNA.
yeah, he does.
So that what we brought up earlier, somebody brought it up about maybe BSNA can,
I did,
produce
I
a
know there's a
report.
way you can print that.
well,
he printed it one
No,
time for us.
yeah.
I didn't mean that we can track it. I meant, so like, it gives a tracking mechanism to it. And it takes it off the building department and gives us, we can use the same motion that we made to have, you know, ordinance.
But Tracy, does he run them all by you, Bruce, usually, or not?
no, no, he doesn't.
I was gonna say, I thought that kind of stopped for a while there, we were putting them on your desk and now then it kind of swayed
Right.
once we started getting Tracy, so.
Yep, and he's been addressing them, but, I mean, we're getting people saying they're not being addressed too, so. You
Cause
know,
we didn't want people picking on people too for those, you know, for regular complaints too. That's why we decided to have you look at them. you know.
right, because sometimes
I
I
think there was
just said,
something that,
there's
yeah,
been some that I'm like, we're not dealing with
Yeah,
that, that was stupid.
I mean, how many building violations normally?
So I think the bigger question is we need to find out where Bob came up with the list and how he found out if they have permits. And then we can figure out if we have to address
usually,
them.
you know, usually we don't have problems with red tags, usually they're obvious situations, you know.
Some
or-
current.
Yeah, they're usually, we don't,
Or
obviously it hasn't been brought to our
Like I
attention,
did.
so it hasn't been bad, you know,
So
so.
I gotta talk to
Yeah,
Bob, right?
Usually
Yeah.
they're obvious, you know.
because the ones we've had have been, oh, well, the guy built his pole barn into my property. Well, okay, we have a major problem. You run out, you put a stop tag on it because he didn't pull a permit.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, I
normally
totally
problems.
get this.
Yeah, so I think we need to get to the heart and figure out where he got the info from.
And then we can make a better,
Yeah, maybe.
Policy
maybe
next
he's in
month.
cahoots with the pool company. And he found out everybody in Columbus Township that bought pools in the last 5 years.
Well, everybody bought pools because COVID happened.
I did.
But we gotta figure out how to come up with a way to only pursue
Valid,
actual written
valid
complaints.
current violations. But then again, like you said, what if, because we're not up and down these roads, maybe one day somebody like, say the building inspector is going down the road and he goes, wait a minute, I don't remember ever inspecting that barn.
But couldn't he file a report? Whatever we call them, and turn that into Tracy?
Yeah,
And then Tracy could go out and say, hey, we had a report. Oh, you don't have any building permits here. What the heck's going on? You know what I mean? That gives us a
But
lever.
usually, if
Yeah.
somebody's building, then but usually Roland would red
Yeah.
tag it, it wouldn't be Tracy red tagging, right?
Well, when that pool thing happened, that one on my road, Tracy went out
Was
to
it
check it.
Tracy? Okay,
And then he called here and he said, oh yeah, he's putting the pool in. Does Roland want to red tag it or should I just red tag it while I'm here? And Roland was here
just
and I
trying to
asked
think of the
Roland and
process, like
Roland,
who does it
yeah,
usually,
but
you know?
Roland said, go ahead, red tag it because you're right there and you know it's a violation. So he did. But I mean, I suppose either one of them could do
Yeah.
it. It's just that if Tracy
Depends on
does
the
it, we
situation.
may,
And anything that's in progress, there's no issue with
Right.
stop work orders.
Right.
There's no,
I think
anything.
it's the prior stuff that's gonna be a.
I guess we could say if there's any prior violations that are, you know,
if something comes
complete,
to,
some
if
completed.
something comes to their attention that we're unsure
or, and is already completed
Yeah,
too,
that maybe we
you know,
need to, yeah.
that that it follows the correct process of filing a complaint and then having Bruce approve it.
Now with
If you
BSNA,
don't
things
put
are-
time on that, though, you're opening yourself up to a lot of, people that are just gonna go out and build stuff and.
Yeah, but if you put prior construction,
yeah, see, in the,
we're still able to catch it if they're building it currently. And if
yeah,
it's prior construction,
Yeah,
then they
if
have to
you
bring it
see
to
But
us.
if they live
And-
off the beaten path or
Yeah.
whatever, and I go put up a barn and you don't see it for a year, now it's in there that it's already priorly, it's already built, so.
And we
what
do
are you
have
gonna do about
situations
it?
where assessing will go out to
And find
measure, you know,
something,
cause they
yeah.
do that too, and they'll be like, hey, no, it's not on the record card, you know, so I mean, that's
and we,
another time.
and
that
we did do that, like.
And they put them on the record card, but they don't usually send violations out on.
No, they
They would-
don't, because I don't think they
Yeah.
can, but they will check and see if a permit was pulled.
Yeah,
Because like when they had that fire over there in Crawford and that whole house burned down, they wanted to do a FOIA request because they had to have it for the insurance. Well, I said, I know I can get everything if I can get permit numbers. They had them in their computer. We didn't because they were old, but we don't have them in BSNA, but they had it in their BSNA, so I was able to find like the blueprints.
so they reference.
And so, yeah, they have stuff, but if they would have had a barn on there that they had never pulled a permit, well, we would have had no record. But, yeah, they keep building permits recorded in their system, so if somebody were to say, go to your house and say, hey, I don't remember that barn being there, we could look and see, did they ever pull a permit to build that barn? So now, moving from not, 2 years ago when we got BSNA, that's never gonna have to be something we have to check with assessing, because we'll be able to see if it's in our system. But if it's older than those 2 years, and we would have to check with them, we just need to, like she says, we have to come up with a time frame.
Maybe
Anything,
put anything prior to when you started the BSNA, when you started using.
but
that.
then again,
So
we're talking these
I still
pools
think
that
rather
have
than
been,
put something in place, we just need to have them check with you.
yeah, we have to have some,
If there's something they're gonna go off and start sending off
Let me talk
random
to,
crazy letters, I think it needs to go to somebody before
Yeah.
it goes out.
Why would Roland put his name on it if Bob asked for it?
That's what I
don't
didn't understand.
probably because Bob didn't come in and he signed it, I don't know.
all right, let me talk to some people and see if I can get a better handle on what's going on.
And then we can figure out next month.
And we'll
how to
figure out if we
address it.
wanna make a motion on it or what. Right?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
All right, ditching bids. Got a couple of ditching bids here. These are Croner Road, both of them. One's by Big Hand Road, the other one's down by Gratiot.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Hold on, let's look at the budget.
I already thought about that when I was-
I know. Hold on.
Corner Road, 1,500 feet from the railroad track. What? Oh, to Big,
Would we put this under contractual? Most likely?
Well, whatever's left.
whatever, whatever
We're gonna
works.
fix the one and then whatever's
All right,
left,
look.
we're gonna have to take
We're
it out of
the
that
wrong
one,
one.
right? The one that's left is 44. The second one, what's that?
This one's repairs
Repairs
and
and
maintenance.
Yeah, because we're gonna fix this one.
So
And this
does
one,
it matter if we put it under repairs and maintenance?
No,
I don't
just tell
think
me
it matters.
whichever one you
Okay.
want it to be.
Put
I
it
think,
under repairs and
I
maintenance.
see, I normally put it under repairs and maintenance, because that contractuals, I always think
Like
it's
the
like the
gravel.
gravel
Okay.
and the chloride
All right,
treatment.
so let's put that under repairs and maintenance so we don't have to make an
Okay.
adjustment.
So I make a motion,
all right, you approve of Croner Road,
1,500 feet from the
1,500
railroad to
feet to
Big
Big
Hand
Hand.
for $14,000.
I'll support.
14,000. All right, Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
Christie, yep. Keelman,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes,
carried. All right, anybody care about the other one?
I'll make a motion to approve Corona Road from Gratiot 700 feet to the north.
What's the amount on that one?
13,500.
That one's Croner Road, 200 feet north,
100 feet north of Gratiot.
200
You
feet.
said 700, wasn't
So
it?
it's 200 feet north,
North.
Gratiot.
and
North of Gratiot.
Oh, okay.
700 feet.
feet to the north. Corner.
This side. It's good to spell these out because later we can say, oh, no, we did that one.
You have those there?
Yeah, you need to sign these.
Yeah.
Is there a second on this one?
I believe we did.
All right, Berenger,
Yes.
Duncan?
Yes.
Christie, yes. Dudek,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
carried. All right, anything else to talk about?
I make a motion to adjourn 10:41.
All right. 10:41 it says. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Bye-bye.
You want me to put today's date?
Yes, and then I'll
Yeah.
sign them and call them tomorrow.
Oh.